Interpretation, unless you know, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's true, sir. Sirs and madams, just now I have switched on the live streaming. Please mute yourself. All of you mute yourself, please.
యూట్యూబ్ లో ఎంతమంది అటెండ్ అవుతున్నారమ్మా?
యూట్యూబ్ లో కూడా దాదాపుగా 45-40 పైన అవుతున్నారు సార్.
ఓ, అది వేరే ఇది వేరేనా మళ్ళా?
ఇందులో ఒక 40 మెంబర్స్, అందులో ఒక 40 మెంబర్స్ అబోవే ఉన్నారు, కానీ తక్కువ మాత్రం లేరు.
వెరీ గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్.
రోజు దగ్గర 100 మంది, అంటే మధ్యలో ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది కదా, అందుకోసం అనేసి ఆ ప్రాబ్లం మూలాన కొంచెం మధ్యలో వెళ్ళిపోతూ వస్తూ ఉన్నారనమాట.
ఏమేం డిసిప్లిన్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఇప్పుడు?
ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ డిసిప్లిన్స్ ఉన్నాయి సార్. ఏమేంటి అనేది నేను చెప్పలేను. ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ డిసిప్లిన్స్ వర్ కవర్డ్.
నేను వదలను కదా, నేను ఇప్పుడు అడుగుతాను కదా. మా స్టైలే వేరే.
throughout the country వచ్చారు సార్.
I know mostly social sciences వాళ్ళంతా ఉంటారు, బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ వాళ్ళంతా ఉంటారు.
Yes sir.
అంటే analysis depends upon the discipline also.
కానీ మనం సోషల్ సైన్సెస్ అన్నాం కాబట్టి సోషల్ సైన్సెస్ let us be confined to the social sciences. That will be better.
That is the only thing I am doing.
Yes sir.
ఈ సైన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటే నేను మాట్లాడను.
సార్ దీనిలో జూమ్ లో వచ్చి 25 మంది ఉన్నారు సార్.
ఓకే.
యూట్యూబ్ లో 11 మంది ఉన్నారు ఇప్పుడు రెడీగా.
రానే పర్లేదు.
మళ్ళీ కో హోస్ట్ గా చేస్తున్నాను. యూ కెన్ అన్మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. బట్ ఈ గ్రూప్ మాత్రం చాలా యాక్టివ్ గా ఉన్నారు సార్.
Very good, very good. That is what generally.
Really, I feel happy with this group.
If program the participants are active means resource persons also will get enthusiasm.
Yes.
To deliver the goods. If participants are sleeping, I will also sleep. How many teachers are there? You have any idea?
Nearly, I think 60 to 40. 40% research scholars and 60% are from the faculty side.
Good. రేపు లాస్టా?
లేదు సార్, రేపు సార్ లాస్ట్. రేపు రిపోర్ట్ రైటింగ్ ఉంది, రేపు ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ రవి గారు చెప్తున్నారు.
వెరీ గుడ్.
ఇంకా అది అయిపోతుంది. ఈ రోజు స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ మీద ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇది. ఆ తర్వాత ఇంకా ఫైనల్ గా రిపోర్ట్ రైటింగ్ లో కూడా 3 parts ఉంటాయి కదా. How to write for a journal and how to write a thesis and how to write a report, project report.
Okay.
Yesterday Arnachalam garu తీసుకున్నారు. Sampling and hypothesis he has covered.
కొద్దిసేపు విన్నాను, మళ్ళీ నిద్ర వచ్చేసింది. నాకు 1:30 to 3:30 some rest time. That's why afternoon I won't allow.
Okay.
ఏమి రిటైర్ అయ్యి ఇంకేం చేస్తాం, చాలే ఆ మాత్రం. ఇది చేసేదే ఎక్కువ.
(26 + 12) వచ్చారు సార్, అంటే 30-40 దాకా వచ్చారు.
ఫస్ట్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి
ఆ లోపల మళ్ళీ మిగతా వాళ్ళు కూడా జాయిన్ అయిపోతారు.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ డేటా అనాలిసిస్ వచ్చేటప్పుడు మిగతా వాళ్ళు జాయిన్ అవుతారులేండి.
మామూలుగా రోజు ఒక ముందే వచ్చేసే వాళ్ళు అందరూ, మరి ఈ రోజు ఎందుకో కొంచెం డిలే అయ్యింది యూట్యూబ్ లో.
ఏం డిలే కాదు, నేను చెప్తున్నాను కదా. సోషల్ సైన్స్ వాళ్ళకి స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ అంటే భయం. This is there for a long time, not today. In fact, మీరు నా ఇది విన్నారంటే there will not be any statistics for the kind information. Only notations will be there.
యాక్చువల్ గా నేను డిగ్రీలో కూడా టాపర్ ని సార్, స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ విషయంలో మాత్రము, డిగ్రీ పీజీలో.
ఓకే, గుడ్.
బట్ లేటర్ ఐ జస్ట్ గివెన్ అప్. ద ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ అన్ని మర్చిపోయాను, దాంతో గివెన్ అప్.
The problem is that used to be daily practice లేకపోతే కష్టం.
There was a huge gap in between my joining.
నేను స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ చదవలేదు, but I learned statistics. What to do?
Actually, na PhD thesis I did all the calculations of ANOVA myself. With the help of calculator, I just did all the calculations.
Yeah, interest unte you can do the thing. We have calculated chi-square those days.
Yeah.
Manually. That's all. After that, mostly through computers only. By the time I submitted my PhD, there was a Spectrum 77 computer was there.
During our dissertation times, we used to calculate all the chi-squares and t-tests ourselves, na?
Manually, that's all.
Yeah, manually we are doing ourselves. And after joining to the PhD, only we just learn to give it to the computers. Otherwise, we used to have do all the things on ourselves.
That's good.
Yeah, I will start, sir. Good morning to you all. I warmly welcome you all to the 5th day session of 1 week National Capacity Building Program on Research Methodology for Social Sciences. Of course, before starting the program, it is my prime duty to express my gratitude and sincere thanks to my university authorities, University Grants Commission for funding this program, and also our beloved head, Professor G. Sandhyarani, Head Women's Studies Center and Department of Women's Studies, and Organizing Secretary of this 1 week National Capacity Building Program. I also cordially welcome our precious resource person, Professor N. Adinarayana Garu, for his ready acceptance to be the resource person for today's program. I believe that this is an opportunity and privilege given by you to me to invite you all the participants, without whose participation this program would not be a success. Before starting the program, I would like to introduce our valuable resource person, Professor N. Adinarayana Garu, retired professor, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Professor Adinarayana Garu, he has retired from the service in 2015 as a professor and head Department of Sociology and Population Studies, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, and since then helping several research scholars by training them in SPSS package. I am also one of the trainees under him who learned SPSS package while starting my career at Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalayam. Thank you, sir. And since then, and during his tenure, served as Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Director, School of Social Sciences, Coordinator, CBCS, Librarian in charge, etc. Served as resource person for Academic Staff College, Bharatiyar University since 1999. His areas of interest are nationality, labor force, fertility, women's health issues, aging, elderly issues, and reproductive and sexual health issues of young men. He has 28 years of teaching experience and guided 11 MPhil and 14 PhDs. He is a specialist in research methodology and data analysis with SPSS. So far, he published 14 books, 22 project reports, and about 126 papers in various national and international refereed journals, and edited books, completed 70 minor and major research projects funded by IIPS, UGC, ICSSR, UNDP, PIP UK, and Wellcome Trust UK, Ford Foundation, and MacArthur Foundation USA, etc. Participated and presented about 170 papers in national and international seminars, and visited the countries such as Singapore, France, South Africa, Switzerland, Kenya on academic works. He also organized about 20 national and international conferences at his credit, and a member in various professional bodies, and also served as executive committee member for IASSH, which is an Indian Association on Social Science and Health, I think. Is it, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And hold several other positions also. I must be thankful to him soon after you have accepted my invitation to act as a resource person for today's program, sir. I must be indebted. I am very thankful to you, sir, and I welcome you to take over the session, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Uma. At the outset, thanks to the University authorities of Sri Padmavati Mahila University, Tirupati, and a special thanks to our beloved Organizing Secretary, Dr. Sanjay Rani Garu, and also Dr. Uma Garu. And welcome to all the participants who are participating from all over India, I hope. Anybody from abroad, Ma? I think all over India.
Yeah, some people are there from abroad, sir.
Oh, very good, very good. That's sort of interesting. Being the program is for the women's studies specialized, of course, social sciences in general. I hope most of you belongs to different disciplines of social sciences, starting from women's studies per se, sociology, social work, psychology, whatnot, economics. I think one Madhav Swami is there from economics, I know him. So like that, okay. If anybody from, I think, hope commerce and business management also may be there.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
If anybody facing difficulty while I am speaking, please raise your hand, or you can question or clarify, ask clarification then and there itself. I know when I was studying in when I worked first in International Institute for Population Sciences during 1982 to 87, there was a big war, almost war, Cold War between the statisticians and social sciences. Statisticians never guide properly the social scientists, and social scientists never reveal what exactly they are doing to statisticians. This is the problem. So application of statistics is comparatively difficult for social scientists, people like us. But thank God to the softwares developed by various scholars of different nature, and you have umpty number of softwares are available in the market and in the IT industry. Well, one of the pioneering one is the SPSS. Of course, now it is called as IBM SPSS because the company of IP SPSS has been taken over by the IBM company. And every 6 months they are updating, and they say this is the 21st version. Now I think, if I am correct, 27 version has also come of late because I didn't see the latest news. Anyhow, this is the background. But the whole idea is, this is statisticians per se. If you take statisticians per se, anybody statistician in this group, please? I don't think they won't attend that easily.
Please raise your hand.
If anybody is there, please raise. Otherwise, we will.
Or otherwise, unmute yourself.
the thing is, you see, statisticians, it's a good science, you may believe it or not. Without the thing has come with without application of statistics, research won't move nowadays. That sort of things have been taken place nowadays. It is good, but application of statistics to social sciences is a hell of a job, mainly because some understanding of statistics is very much essential by social scientists. So normally nowadays, most of the courseworks like research methodology, almost all social sciences, you may have minimum 1 or 2 units of statistics and maximum up to 3 units also, or exclusively one paper on statistics also are there in some of the universities. Hope some of you might have trained like that. But still, while I am dealing with statistical analysis of data, strictly speaking, I won't speak statistics per se, but I will only say about the how make use of statistics in the statistical analysis of data in social science research. So without wasting much time, I think 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours have been given for me. About 1 hour, we will try to see first the elementary things up to chi-square. Okay. Before, so I will try to focus on the PowerPoint, and then we will start the discussion.
I will allow you to for multiple.
Mine is actually in PDF format, not in PowerPoint actually.
Yeah. You are allowed, sir.
Okay. Share again.
Yeah. Share screen is there, no, sir?
No,
there I have allowed multiple participants can share simultaneously.
ఇక్కడ నాకు అది ఓపెన్ అవడం లేదు.
సరే, నాకు ఏదైనా మెయిల్ పెట్టేసేయండి, నేను ఓపెన్ చేస్తాను.
ఫార్వర్డ్ చేసేదా?
ఫార్వర్డ్ చేసేయండి. I will share it. Meanwhile, you can start your lecture.
Yeah, just I will. రెడీగా పెట్టుకున్నాను. యాక్చువల్లీ నేను తెల్లవారితో పంపిద్దాం అనుకున్నాను. I forgot.
నాకు ఈరోజు ఫ్రైడే కదా, ఈరోజు ఇప్పుడే పూర్తయింది.
పంపించాలంటే కూడా తలనొప్పి మనకి.
ఓకే సార్.
ఇది నాది ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది అన్నట్టు. స్క్రీన్ రాలేదు ఇంతవరకు. ఓకే. Okay, now you got it?
Yes, sir. Okay. Now you are sharing.
So that is the statistical analysis of data with a special reference to social science research only I am trying to talk. But anyhow, any science teachers are there, I have no objection to raise the clarifications or issues if you have. Well, friends, all of you know the purpose of statistical analysis of data is okay, fine. The purpose, we will collect a lot of data nowadays. I am speaking in terms of quantitative data now. Please keep in mind. So quantitative data collected through primary data, that is from the field, okay, through questionnaires or schedules. That sort of data I am talking. So such data is called in the beginning as raw data. So you don't know what exactly is there in your schedules or questionnaires. It is called raw data. It used to be meaningless or difficult to understand. However, there may be some numbers will be there. What exactly stands for, why it is 1, 2, 3 is given, or age is given, or income is given. Nobody knows. It may be some 300 schedules, 400 schedules, or 600 schedules, or any number of schedules. But summarizing the collected data and organizing these in such a manner that they will yield answers to, because we will summarize the whole data. What for? First of all, to answer the research questions, number 1. Number 2, to answer our objectives for all research activities, like starting from MPhil or PhD, even for your simple dissertation of PG, you need some objectives. So for fulfilling your objectives, the analysis is very much important. Similarly, testing of hypothesis. I think yesterday Professor Arunachalam talked about hypothesis. Very, very critical of preparation of hypothesis and testing. with statistics. And finally, all social science research is point towards suggest policy implications. So you have to say that statistically I have proved, and therefore I am suggesting a policy implication like that. That is a usual practice we will do in social science research. Well, looking into the data in the light of hypotheses and research questions and theories, so as to draw the conclusions, another use of purpose of the statistics. And also the analysis should be suited and apt to the objectives of the study. See, what are our objectives? Accordingly, we have to do the analysis. What are our hypotheses? Accordingly, we have to do the analysis. If statisticians know 100 number of things of statistics, just presenting them is of no use. Okay, I can give you several types of examples through this discussion. You can see how our dissertations are statistics we are making use, and how our PhD theses are submitted. Of course, that is a different matter. Then comes, it is highly skilled and technical job. As I told you, you see, though softwares are available, but still it is highly skilled and technical job to be carried out by the researcher. So it demands a thorough knowledge of one's data. First of all, you have to understand your data, whether you have collected the proper data based on your theoretical and objectives. Okay, and then basic knowledge of statistics. Forget about so-called so much statistics are not necessary. At least the descriptive statistics like measures of central tendency, measures of variation, isn't it? Some test of significance like chi-square test or t-test, or these things are very much essential to understand the data. And then software application, another area. You see, computers, of course, you are all experts now in computers, but how to make use of the software to get the results, and after getting the results, how to interpret that. This also has become a big problem nowadays. Okay, so keeping this slide move Agdama. His slide is moving, please. I'm in the second slide now. Slide is moving.
Not no, sir. It's not moving. Yes, yes.
Yes, moving, sir.
Now it is moving. Now it is moving.
Steps in types and steps in are types of data analysis. You see, the whole analysis, whatever you do in your thesis, I feel, first of all, data processing and database management is very much essential. That is where most of the people fail. I'm sorry to say that. I will tell several things like this. You can note down and see, you can clarify also. First of all, data processing and database management is nothing but editing and coding, which you have to do perfectly before entering your data into the computer software. Please remember. Secondly, data entry and data verification. As the entered data is verified, that also you have to see. Okay, this is the minimum things which is essential. Then comes only the next step, only data analysis will come into picture. Unless your data is edited properly, coded properly, entered properly, verified properly, then only you have to do the data analysis. Otherwise, you will simply say that some results will come, and later you will repent that what is this? I am not expecting this. I am not expecting that. All those things you will say. But data analysis, generally, again, I am telling, whatever you do in your research work, first of all, you will go for frequency tabulations. Okay. Which will be very useful for data verification, the categorization of data. And then you will go for class tabulations, like comparison and testing of hypotheses. Class tabulations are very much essential with some suitable statistics and test of significance. Thirdly, you will go to multivariate analysis. This has been happening only for the last 5 to 10 years. Even now, some people, they are not interested to make use of multivariate analysis. Okay, I will tell you the details later more. And there is also other uses of statistical analysis are there, which normally very few people are making use of it. Say, for example, reliability analysis. Okay, if you construct the scales, you will go for reliability analysis or the coefficient of alpha or split half reliability method you can use. Then there are certain disciplines wherein general linear models are they used to apply. Like because two-way ANOVA is one of the important that you. Three-way ANOVA you can do, and ANACOVA and MONACOVA you can do. These are all things are available. Okay. Then there is a multi-dimensional scaling. See, scaling normally we used to prepare based on our previous research or based on you can prepare your own. But as the prepared scale is correct or not, if you want to see the validity and reliability, then you will have, you make use of certain software also. In factor analysis, which is again very, very popular when you are using scales, especially the statements are asking questions, 100 number of questions people will ask. What for they are asking, they don't know. What for the respondents are giving answer, we don't know. I have my own reservations about the scale. Sorry, I am not criticizing it. Similarly, cluster analysis and discriminant analysis, general log linear models, all these things are there. I'm sorry to say that I am not dealing with all these things. It's because statistics is a ocean. Try to understand. I'm trying to see the basic things like data processing and data analysis up to multivariate analysis with some examples only. Even I am not running any SPSS and all these things. Okay, that you have to ask me how to run, how to get, and all these things I will tell you. Okay, because running SPSS is based on the single mission. Because I prefer to have a practice. Hands-on practice is very much essential, which I used to conduct in Bharatiya University between 2011 to 2015. Every 6 months once I conducted a workshop based on the collection of fees from the students. Okay, not you, because normally free means our people, they don't listen properly. Anyhow, now we are coming to the first stage.
I am an exception, sir.
Please carry on. No problem.
I am an exception, sir.
Oh, that's okay. You are conducting, you are you have educated, that's all. Okay, first of all, editing of data. Okay, the very, very important step, but unfortunately, no scholars are doing, and no guides are asking them to do. I am sorry to say that. I'm always finding fault with guides now. Later, you can return to me. I have no objection. So after data collection, examining the data in questionnaires and interview schedules for errors and omissions, which is very, very important. See, while interviewing the respondents, you will write with the short forms that this, and all these things. You have to go through whether there's something possible to left also. Okay, all those things you have to fill up. If you are entering the data, still that the answer is very much essential. If answer is not there, give a dash. That is what editing is very, very important. All the things. First of all the schedules are there or not, whether 300 or 500. Normally, we have the habit of collecting some data today, we will keep in the village. Collecting the next day today, we will left with the bus. Okay, these type of things will happen. Okay, but that's why we have to check for that, and then correct whenever possible and wherever possible, delete wrong answers. See, sometimes what happens is respondents will give knowingly they will give wrong answers. You will enter, because if you don't enter, they will ask you why the answer I told you, you have not entered. So you will enter there, but later you have to keep in mind and correct it. So editing includes checking of the number of schedules, as I told you, questionnaires, then completeness, whether all the answers are there, filling up of questions. Okay, then legibility. See, if a large scale surveys are going on, different types of interviewers are there. They will write according to their own style. Okay, so commonality and legibility you have to see. Then the maintained degree of uniformity. That's what I told you. Okay, uniformity, you have to answer has to be more or less the same. To eliminate irrelevant responses, that also you have to eliminate. Okay, otherwise, while after entering, first of all, entering not necessary to enter. After entering, again you have to struggle. Why this is there? Why not that? All these things. And this type of editing normally will be done field editing and central editing. Being research scholars, better to do in the field editing itself. Collect 5 data, 5 schedules or 4 schedules per day. Edit then and there itself. Otherwise, you will forget the things. Central editing, normally this will be central editing will be in the case of big projects, large projects, wherein common supervisor will be there, all the schedules will be sent there. Of course, nowadays that stage also has gone. The large scale surveys are being computed by the programming with tablets, computer tablets, not swallowing tablets. Then comes the coding of data. Well, after editing, at times while preparing the tool itself, coding has a distinguish. Okay, even preparing tool, your own questionnaire and schedule, you can start giving pre-coding. Okay, so classifying responses into meaningful categories. Okay, Then it involves combining, pooling detailed information into limited number of categories. See, the major focus of data analysis is large number of data you have to summarize into short number. That is the whole idea. Suppose if age is there, and I am interviewing about the age of the respondents of elderly persons. It starts with 60. It may go beyond 90, 95 if some people are surviving at that age. Okay, collecting that age itself is a laborious job, we know. So for that, nowadays people, I am trying to tell all the forums that you collect actual age, but still people are taking 60 to 65, 65 to 70, 70 to 75. I don't know why. Enter, because now the software helps you a lot. Enter the actual data. I will give you several examples like that. Okay, so that is where you have to see condensing the information will be easy. Then that's what pre-coding at the time of schedule or questionnaire preparation. I will show you how some of the questionnaires, one of the questionnaire I got, my God, how the questionnaire is prepared, I can show you. Then post-coding, after the data collection, you have to prepare a code design or code book. I don't know how many of you have seen those things. I have seen with my own eyes how code book is prepared. Numbers have to be given. We have to, some large scale projects will be printed also, because different people will be there for data entry. So that sort of things. Then code design describes the location of the variables. But there may be variable names, maybe x1, x2, x3, x4, something like that. X1 stands for what? X2 stands for what? Okay. Suppose x1 stands for schedule number, x2 stands for religion, x2 stands for caste, like that. Again, not only location, the list of code assignments. Again, within a religion, what 1 stands for, 2 stands for, 3 stands for, that also you have to give. 1 stands for Hindus in religion, 2 stands for Muslims, 3 stands for Christians. No, I don't like, I want to give different way. You give different way, there is nothing wrong, but give a number. That's what the coding structure is like that. Then coding process. This is another headache. You know, when we were students, I remember those days. Even now, some people, some teachers used to say, master sheet la enter pantingla kepanga. Okay, they will ask, have you entered in master sheet? What is that master sheet? Those days, we will put a big drawing sheet and give arrows and rows and enter the data on lying down on the this one. Okay, that sort of thing. Later, the computer code sheets have come. Okay, IBM code sheets have come. Then edge coding has started. Then punching cards have been started. I remember even punch cards, my data was punched for some of the things. Punching machines were available. But now all these things are washed out. You may believe it or not. Everybody is entering data, direct data entry. You can go for some time, Lotus 123 was the popular one. Later, now everybody is entering into Microsoft Excel. Okay, easily accessible. Or those who know SPSS or SAS or other Stata, all these software, they can enter directly into their spreadsheets. Okay, this is the procedure we are following in coding the data. Now, as I told you, pre-coding is one of the drawbacks, and one of the typical schedule I got, interview schedule, you see age. Age is given here 15 to 25, 26 to 35, 30 to 45, 46 to 55. I am not telling this is wrong, but why I am telling this? Because while entering the data, suppose you are asking me, I am telling sir, my age is 45. Okay, suppose, sorry, 47. Then you have to search where is 47. Are you understand? At least half a minute, half a second or 2 seconds will be wasted. Instead of that, enter the actual age, what they are telling. Okay, that's what my suggestion. Then comes the, you see, I have given some green things here. Rest of the things I feel slightly okay. Education is there. Education, you see, this particular schedule, it is asked illiterate, one code is given. Read and write, another code is given. Then primary to secondary, only one code. Okay. And college means here intermediate, degree, PG, all are dumped under college. This is needed because you see, the usually in social sciences, we used to tell at the time of collection of data, collect detailed data. That is very important. Collect detailed data. Then compress as convenient as possible. to the accepting to the theory and analysis. This is what the structure says. But here, while collecting itself, a mistake is made. Same problem with the age also. So at the time of doing analysis, what will happen is most of the people will come under 25 to 35 and 36 to 45. At this end and at this end, number of cases will be very limited. And the whole, then analysis cannot be made. If that number of cases are small means generally categorized data, analysis cannot be made. I will show you some of the examples. That is one thing. Then coming to occupation. You see, coding has one rule is there. I don't know how many of you remembering. While giving the coding, you have to give codes from lower to higher or higher to lower, whichever is convenient to you. That is very much essential. Here, for example, 1 is given to students, fine. 2 is given to agriculture. Agriculture is a broad domain. Try to understand from my side. You mean to say agricultural laborers? You mean to say agriculturists? So the status of agricultural laborers is entirely different to those who are doing cultivation or agriculturists. And you are dumping in one place. And third is coming employees. Employees is a big domain again, isn't it? Various cadres of employees are there. Then comes the business. Same story. Again, business. What type of business? Petty business or some workshops, etc. or some big establishments. And finally, it ends up to taxi and auto driver labor. Fantastic coding. Okay, this is what happening. Reality. And you cannot, the results will not come properly. Next comes another thing. Wonderful thing is monthly income. You see, it is no income, fine. And rupees 500 is first. It started with rupees 5,000. Okay, and 10,000 jump to 10,000, 15,000 and 20,000. In between, what happened? Isn't it? Maybe the scholar may be thinking that because I know the interpretation. The scholar may be thinking that all those who are having 5,000 to 9,999 will come under one category. I understand, isn't it? But computer won't understand. 5 to 10 a jump will be there. 10 to 15 jump will be there. Okay, the data will deviate like that. Why don't you collect the actual data? Whatever they are telling. Per month 4,500. Right, 4,500. Isn't it? So this type of things you have to take care when coding. Same thing. This is you see. If you see this, I will cry. What is this? How much money you usually spent on medical expenses after HIV infection per year? Nil is one category. And less than 10,000 is one category. Less than 20,000 is one category. Less than 30,000 is one category. Above 40,000 is one category. I don't know, sorry. You are all scholars of your own things. If this is a type of a questionnaire data is collected, how the statisticians also will help you. Tough job. Okay. The meaning of less than, if you don't know, finish, you end, your research is gone. Anybody catch the point? By the way, anybody catch the point except Uma? Don't worry about Uma, I know. Any others catch the point? What's the meaning of less than?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell? The problem comes with 4 and 3, isn't it? 3 stands for less than 20. That means it also includes less than 10.
10.
Obvious, everybody knows. And if 4 is less than 30, it includes both the previous ones. My God, this is how the data is collected. Then how statistician will help, isn't it? Don't worry. This is the same story with these also. Do you remember when you have acquired the HIV infection? Why don't you enter the actual data, sir? Last 1 year, 1 and 2 years, 3 years. That ends the matter. Okay. Okay. These are all some simple examples I am giving. And another one here. This is a basic statistics and basic research knowledge is poor. You see, what is your family size? That is the total number of dependents. 2 to 4, single is 2 to 4, 4 to 6. Now what is this?
Isn't it? 2 to 3 only has to come here.
No. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, now the problem comes. Suppose normally, our style. Research scholar won't collect the proper data. They will take a company of another research scholar or some other persons. I will tell you the data story of my own. I am really ashamed of that. What to do that type of thing? Okay, because actual you take the number here, because now that is what the latest computers they will help you. Okay, anyhow, these are all some of the fundamentals you have to take care. Unless you keep these things clear, your data analysis will not become, because that's what I told you. Verification after entering verification, etc. You see, this is one of the code designs I have prepared, wherein the respondent's age here, actual number of completed years. That's all. You enter actual number, whatever they told. Then response, even educational status. See, I am collecting. I know this is a project work. This is to be collected by to the elderly persons. If they go and ask, have you studied primary school level or you studied middle school level, they will answer. Isn't it? You just simply they ask them, how many number of years you attended or what standard you attended. That doesn't matter. Isn't it? That will be very easy. You see the code, the codes given here for response occupation, not working, beggars. There are beggars here in elderly persons. Then you have non-agricultural laborers and coolies, skilled workers, business, lower grade employees, higher grade employees. Again, if this is not possible to include this, any other provision is there. That any other provision is very much essential wherever qualitative data is collected. If we are not sure that some of them are not fall in these lines, keep them, and while coding you decide where it can be appropriate. Okay, that is the style you have to do. Same income, you see, actual income has been asked. So this is how, while preparation of the code design, you have to prepare carefully. While preparation of questionnaire and schedule, you have to prepare carefully. So unless these things are followed, your data analysis will not be that much clear. This is a type of data entered into a micro, this one, not Excel, of course, this is a software, SPSS software, wherein you see the response age, actual age is like this, the income is like this, family income is like this, okay? All numbers only, you won't see anything. If you want to see the number, what exactly stands in a, say for example, in X6, what is the X6 333, isn't it? So X6 most likely what will be there? Here it is X6 is cast. So these are all cast is 333 means they stands for backward cast. One stands for SCST. One stands for SCST. Like that you have to give the numbers clearly with understanding. Okay. In fact, while entering the data, you may believe or not, first 5-10 schedules only it will be difficult to enter. Later, the whole code design or code structure come to your mind automatically. By seeing the code sheet, you can easily enter the numbers. And data entry is such a job, it is not our job, strictly speaking. 10th standard, 12th standard people will do much faster than us. Okay. I used to search the number keys. Actually, number lock has to be done with the 5 fingers. We have to enter the data. How many of you don't? You know, I don't. Oh, sorry. Anyhow, then another important area before going to data analysis, you have to understand your variables. On the Chama variables, you got it? You see the types of variables. I think already several scholars might have, the resource persons have discussed with you. In the context of data analysis, I am discussing in a slightly different fashion. First of all, you have to understand whether your variable is qualitative and quantitative in nature. So if it is qualitative like gender, religion, caste, education, occupation, coding you have to give. Don't forget that. Keeping the rule into consideration, lower to higher, then immediately don't ask, sir, gender, why male is given 1 and female is given 2. You can give reverse also, there is nothing wrong. Okay. Then comes the quantitative. Quantitative normally no other go from lower to higher only. As it increases, you will enter actual. Okay, like age, income, family size, scores of the scales. Normally it has become a fashion nowadays to prepare the scale. 3-point scale, 2-point scale, 5-point scale, 7-point scale. My God. Okay, tough job here. I don't know. I am not for that. Anyhow, that is different. Then continuous variables are there. We can categorize the variables into continuous variable and discrete variable. You have to understood that one also. When it's a continuous variable, with the decimal points it will come. Say for example, weight, height, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, like that we are telling. Na? So that type of data is called continuous variable. And we have discrete variables. Discrete variables means completed without decimal point will be integers and சொல்லுவாங்க. So age means 33. That means 33. 33.5 irukadu. So it won't be there. 33, 34. Then 35. That's all. So they completed. Income 5,000 or 4,500 or 3,000. That's all. Okay. Then comes for the by the time of analysis you are doing based on the theory and the review of literature, you have to come clearly an idea about what are your dependent variables, what are your independent variables. This concept you have to understood clearly before doing the analysis. So that is, independent variables are mostly all our socio-demographic characteristics. We used to say independent variables. That is the factors that are likely to affect the so-called dependent variable which we are studying in our research. Then when we get dependent variables, that depends upon the topic of research. Okay, normally when we are doing research, we will keep the dependent variable only the focus. Status of woman and its determinants means the status of woman is our dependent variable. It is very clear. Then what are the determinants? A very number of variables, all independent variables will come into picture. Okay, that's what we are. Then comes in women studies. I am giving some examples for dependent variables. As I told you just now, empowerment of woman. Again, some people used to study empowerment of woman by scales. Again, what is that? Social empowerment, economic empowerment, political empowerment, whatnot. You can study in different fashions. There is nothing wrong. But you have to include the appropriate statements or questions to measure. Whatever you measured is correct, you have to prove. Okay. For that, again, as I told you, reliability and validity you have to see. Then comes the domestic violence, whether domestic violence has taken place or not. And if taken place, whether their health is affected or not. So like that you can study. Then infertility. How many women are suffering from infertility? Infertility, how many years? These type of things. Work satisfaction. Therefore, again, scales are there. Then you have problems of aged. Okay. Then living arrangements of widowed. So nowadays, because I am doing for the last 10-15 years, studying about aged and aged persons. Okay. Then care seeking behavior of widowed. Okay, this is another problem. Physical care, what is that? Emotional care, economic assistance, these type of things. Then reproductive behavior of women, commonly used to study reproductive behavior of women or adolescents. So these are all some of the dependent variables which you will come across. Of course, in discussion you can tell me what are your dependent variables also. We will discuss later. Now, when it comes to the characteristics of data analysis, already I told you purpose of data analysis, isn't it? So the plan of data analysis should be before that. I forgotten one thing here. You see, if you know your dependent variables and dependent variables in hand, the statistical tabulation also you can easily prepare. Anybody heard about dummy table? In this forum, anybody heard about dummy table? You might have not heard. Yeah, because by the time you are all, the IT has taken over the data analysis part and manual analysis was not there. But still, for IT also, you have to keep in mind what type of table you want to prepare. Isn't it? That you have to keep it very careful. So that's what here it is. See, I'll tell you the dummy table. To think in terms of significant tables, how many tables you want, how many variables are in your hand. You have to decide in the beginning itself. And normally, I'm sorry, I'm using, I'm giving consultants to research scholars. Really sorry, ABCD don't know. Sir, I'm giving you the data. You tell me what exactly, whatever tables are coming, you give me. That's all. The first question I will ask you, have you prepared your objectives? Objectives prepare they might have not prepared the objectives also at that time. Because research proposal is very important. I don't know. Of course, some of the universities they are conducting doctoral committees meeting. or seminars like that, research proposal stage itself, the objectives have to come clear. When your objectives are clear, your data will come accordingly, I hope. Okay. So how many tables? At that point of time only, I will ask, have you heard about dummy table? Dummy table is nothing but without data. Without data, table will be there. Where the independent variable will come, where the dependent variable will come, where the control variable will come. This is very much minimum thing, at least the scholars has to know, and the guide has to explain them. Okay, I'm really sorry. Guides are not telling, scholars are not preparing. Okay, both the things are there. Then comes to examine carefully the statement of the problem. What exactly we are studying? That's all. Accordingly, you need the table. Whatever they are telling stories, all those tables not necessary, and no place for in the research, the thesis also. Similarly, and the earlier analysis, while doing review of literature, you might have come across what the earlier people have done, what type of analysis they have done, whether such analysis is worth doing. Can we change now? These are things you have to plan. Okay, that's what. That's why while doing review of literature, I used to tell generally you have to do theoretical developments, you have to do empirical data, how they analyze with the statistics and all these things, and you have to see methodological aspects also. That's why review of literature is very important. Okay, but what review of literature we are doing? Copying, pasting, copying, pasting. No, not studying. Even abstracts are copying and pasting, and caught hold in the so-called plagiarism. Okay, this is what happening in reality. Anyhow, to get away from the data and to think about the problem. See, we have a lot of data, as already I told you, because normally it is a curiosity of the researcher as well as the guide to collect more and more data. There is nothing wrong. You collect. But whatever the data is needed for the thesis, first you analyze. Then you can go for even papers also. So that data you can make you what for one dependent variable, one paper you can prepare. For each dependent variable, if you prepared one paper, you can prepare 10 papers out of your own data, isn't it? Then comes to, and the problem in layman's terms. This is what people used to ask. See, you are doing a lot of research in the four walls of your university. I am an ordinary layman. Tell me what exactly you are doing. So in layman terms, you have to tell him, this is what I have done, this is what I am going to do, and this is what helpful for you in future, if not now. Okay, the layman terms. Then comes to examine the data by making various simple statistical calculations. Don't go for so-called the analysis. I am not suggesting like that. But whatever data is allowed and whatever data is apt or suitable for your analysis, that much you have to do much better way. Okay, that's what important of statistical analysis. Now, I'm coming the exact point of data analysis of descriptive analysis. That is, first of all, this is what we will do. The first step, as I told you. Till now, any questions or clarifications you need? Just 2-3 minutes. Anybody can raise. I talked about the importance of data, and I talked about the database management, especially editing, coding, code design, isn't it? So any doubts till here or clarifications you want? When I am giving opportunity, make use it of. Later, don't say that, sir, I might have asked and all these things. Don't worry. I won't leave up to 12:30 definitely. Please. Okay, if you are following, fine. I have no objection. Now, I'm coming to the analysis of data. That is descriptive analysis. Minimum things in every thesis, we will do this one. Okay. The first one is tables. We prepare in terms of tables. So that is called frequency tables, wherein the percentages will be there. And of course, the concerned frequency also will be there. And categorized data, mostly categorized. And this will be helpful for even categorizing the data. Frequency tables. Okay. I told you the raw data we will collect, like age. For example, age from 66 to 99, if it is there, then how to categorize that? For that, the frequency, earlier frequencies were very much essential. I'll show you the example also. Then comes the minimum thing is cross tabulations. Once your frequencies are over and if data is categorized properly, then you will think of what is your dependent variable, how many variables are likely to influence the dependent variable. This is what everybody will do, isn't it? Generally, in any thesis work or in a project work, some 15 to 20 variables only will be there, maximum. If it is more than that, you yourself will confuse, and you may confuse the others also. Okay, the independent variables will be maximum 15 to 20, not more than that. Some people, some of the disciplines is hardly 10 only, 8 to 10. That's all. Okay. Anyhow, so if cross tabulations are planned, if it is categorized data, you can do one type of analysis. Then generally means and discrete or continuous data you will do. If it is means for your discrete and continuous data, you will compute the means by each category of the independent variable. Okay, please remember. Then there will be correlations also are there. Some of the disciplines, correlations are normally used. Okay, and then comes with these tabulations there itself. Okay, subcommands are there. You can make use of that and go for test of significance. If it is categorized data, as I told you in the first case, cross tabulations with the categorized data, you will generally go for chi-square test. Okay, that is a minimum test everybody will do, chi-square test. Once you are clear that your dependent variable, I am talking about your dependent variable is 2 categories or 3 categories. To the best of my knowledge, your dependent variable is more than 4 categories. I personally suggest that don't do the chi-square analysis. If your dependent variable is 4 categories and above, it will not be useful for interpretation. Up to 2 and 3 only, it will be more, chi-square will be more useful. Try to understand from my side. If you have any other opinions, you can tell me, no problem. Then comes if you are means and standard deviations you are calculating. Okay, mean of each category wise data. Mostly when it comes to means, your dependent variable will be, as I told you, discrete or continuous in terms of scale circulam, some score circulam, some other things will be there. Okay, so mostly continuous data or discrete data. At that time, the t-test will come into picture. Okay, or f-test also will come into picture. When t-test means, what will happen? If the independent variable have only 2 categories, you will go for t-test. Same data only. If the independent variable have 3 categories and above, you will go for one-way ANOVA test. I will show you example. Don't worry. Okay, so that is. But dependent variable should be in this case only discrete and continuous data. Don't forget that. Okay, so that is what is the minimum. The whole thesis, any thesis you take, this is the minimum thing they will do. After that, if somebody has used more than this, really he is a scholar in statistics, I can say. Okay, if anybody has done more than this as a researcher, somebody might have done as statisticians, they will do and they will give you, that is different. If you have done means really you are having some grip in statistics and the so-called software. Okay, Uma madam is having, I know. Now, this is what output. Suppose age, I gave you the example of elderly persons, na? So you give the minimum output as it is. I didn't analyze anything here. So as it is, if you take, it starts from 60, it goes on like this up to 75. Still tables are there again. So what is the frequency here? What is the percent here? And in addition to this, it is also giving valid percent and cumulative percent. Now this is what here the statistics are needed. So people immediately they will get a doubt. Sir, I asked only for these 2. Why the computer is giving these 2 again for me? So for importance, you have to read the book and understand the minimum statistics, what exactly it means. Valid percentage is, I will tell you simple words. Valid percentage is, if all cases are taken into consideration, valid percentages will come. Mostly, if all, so for example, in this case, 778 cases are taken, and the age is last 99. You see, 99, one person is there, one person. So, if all cases are taken, the valid percent and the percent will be more same. These 2 will be same. Try to understand. Valid percent when it is important, if some missing cases are there. that will exclude and then compute the frequency. So that is what so there you have to understood clearly what is valid percent and here. Okay, that's where the important. Then comes the cumulative percent. Cumulative percent is nothing but adding on next percentage to this. If this and this, if you add, this will come. If this, this and add, if you come this. This will be useful to categorize the data. So for example, now I have here this many, I need only 3 categories. You decide there is nothing wrong. Or go to this structure, cumulative percent. Suppose if you categorize into 3, what is going to happen? How many cases will come? Suppose if you get into 4 categories, how many cases will come? For that, it will be useful. If it is 3 categories means, you see, at some place 65 itself, 40% cases are there. Cases are there, 40%. So that means I prefer up to 65 only one category. Because otherwise next category is going to be very less. The next category I am going up to 74 or 75. There ends the matter. That's all. Not more than that. If you go on dragging, is of no use when your dependent variable comes into picture. Please try to understand, because this can be treated as independent variable only. Isn't it? So the persons vary from 60 to 65, that much may not vary. But 65 to 69 years will vary. And 70 plus will vary compared to these two groups. That theoretical understanding is needed for doing the research. Okay, this is. So for example, I will show you how I have done. Similarly, in the case of education status, I told you, in terms of the years of schooling has been done here. 0, 1, 2, 3, third standard, 4th standard, like that. That's all. You enter the data. Now I purposefully added different categories because among elderly, because these are all people who have completed 60 years by 2011, and not I am talking about now, 2011 data, this one. So at that point of time, their 60 years means going to school itself is a great big task, and studying up to college level etc. is much more big task. And that too, this is urban data, Coimbatore city data. Okay, I will show you how it has come. Now you see what is happening. The frequency table based on that, I have categorized the data. For this, commands are there in the software. SPSS commands are there. Okay, then only the 6 operational commands will come into picture. The statistical commands are there for your kind information. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, isn't it? These things you have to understand at that point of time. Okay, so based on that, if you categorize, as I told you, I have given a different category. 60 to 69 years, I have taken one category, and 70 to 79 another category, 80 plus another category. And by doing that, what is happening? At least around 1/3 and above, they have come in one category. That's all. You may ask, sir, why you didn't take 65 to 69, 60 to 64 might have taken, 65 to 69. We can take, there is nothing wrong. You see, I told you in the beginning, summarizing data is important. After getting this much data, you have to summarize, and it should be understood to the layman also, not as a statistician, because if your variability between the categories is more, from 60 to 64 up to 80 plus, if you give 6 categories will come, your degrees of freedom will increase. Statistics like chi-square calculate for more, degrees of freedom will come. If your degrees of freedom will increase, your teachers' values have to come very large. Then only you will be satisfied. It will become as what is that, significant at 5% level or 1% level. But if you have 3 categories only, your degrees of freedom only 2. Isn't it? This understanding of statistics or categorization while analyzing the data is very much essential. That's where many statisticians, they will fail, or those who are doing consultancy or these things, they won't do properly. They will simply say that this is how these things are. And I am really sorry, they will do like that. The scholar won't understand, guide won't understand, PhD will be given. I'm really sorry to say that PhD will be given. You submit any, especially in this part of the country, I'm really sorry. A PhD will be given easily. What is happening, I don't know. Okay, anyhow, don't worry. Then comes the education status of, as I told you, see, illiterates, primary, middle, high school, higher secondary. Because why I am telling all these things, because how many categories the data is allowing, first of all. You try. In fact, while after doing this, after frequency, I have clubbed these two and clubbed these two. Because on the frequency there, the number of cases will not be more. Isn't it? If you what is that? Categorize data, only 3 categories means you will get more number of cases. While conducting chi-square test, there are certain guidelines are there. A minimum 5 is needed in the one cell, etc., etc. Of course, this is a large number of 778 cases. No problem will arise. That is different. But it is of no meaning if you go on doing like that. You can simply say that compared to illiterates, those studied up to middle level have different types of things, and those who have completed high school and above have still different type of things. That's all. That's the matter. The whole idea of behind analysis is this data is supporting your views. Okay, that's all. At significant level, that is what important. That is when you are making use of statistics means the point of significance is very important. Test of significance we used to say, isn't it? Then now comes the other one is, this is a simple one example I given. Now here I am showing not mine, somebody's thesis. I have just taken the snaps and I am presenting to you how the data is analyzed, not by the scholar. I am sorry to say that this is by some other those telling that I am expert in statistics and making use of the software. You see, this is the age in years, and all these red means all mistakes. Try to understand from my side. All red means mistakes. Here green means mistake, because அது ரெட்ல இருந்ததனால green பண்ணேன். So 20 to 25, the person's respondents age starts from 20 to 55 வரை இருக்கு. Okay, it is there. Sorry, sometimes Tamil I used to speak. Then it starts with 25 like this. The number of cases are like this, and percentage is like this. Okay, I am asking a simple question. Suppose when you are preparing this, you have to answer. Somebody should answer for this in the forum. Otherwise, I won't proceed further. Which one will come? Suppose number of respondents is given, percentage is given. For all practical purposes, whether percentage will be better to come first and frequency will go next, or the table is right. According to me, it is wrong. Why? Anybody from the forum? Not Uma. Participants, please open your mouth here. If you have any doubts, I have no objection. Or if I am wrong, you please criticize me. Don't worry about that. Because after
otherwise you can post.
Like other people yesterday they told, I am also learning, because this is only sharing the knowledge. That's all.
You can post in chat box also, please.
Yeah. If you have, because I want more interaction. I want more interaction as far as possible. That's why purposely I am each and every 15 to 20 minutes I am stopping. Raise your voice, no problem. Okay. Now, but I will tell you the stories here. What is happening, I will tell you. Here you see one thing is there. When a table is given, for all tables invariably, I am not talking, you see, when mean has to be, that is descriptive statistics, people used to say minimum fundamental measures of central tendency is mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Each one have their own importance. I am not denying the fact. Statistics is such a science which has much importance. But here mean is given, median is given, mode is given, standard is deviation is given. What for? Anybody knows? What is the use of these things? Are you going to interpret in your data in the thesis? Anybody? So one question. The second question is, mean is given as 38.34. For your kind information, the data has been collected in these categories only, because I saw in the thesis at the end, schedule is there. I am such a nasty examiner, I myself will tell, I am such a nasty examiner. When a thesis comes to me, first I will do the go through the analysis, and I will see the questionnaire and schedule. There ends the matter. See, when the data is not collected properly, then the whole thing has gone wrong. So here you see, the data is collected like that, and based on this, mean is computed. What you will do? When mean will be collected like that, you tell. Then what is the use of median here? And median is wrong. Okay, I am posing these questions. You can start bombard me through chat box or direct also. I have no object. I am coming to the next table. I am coming. Okay, the codes have been given for cost, OC, SC, BC, ST. Just now I told you there need a pattern of cases. You have to code the data into a pattern, isn't it? And for that, this is atrocity. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation is calculated. I don't know. Core statistics don't know ABCD. Tamil solluvaanga pujyam, zero. Any categorized data, mean, median, mode will be computed. Please go through your statistics books. If I am wrong, please tell me. Okay? Okay, fine. Such type of, because my idea of, because when Uma asked me, Dr. Uma asked me about the session, I told purposely I want this session only. She told fine,
Sir,
sir, no problem.
Sir, feel free to call me Uma. That's all, sir.
No, so don't worry.
I'm always your student.
Not like that. You are in a position, you are in a good position, don't worry. You know why I'm telling, because these are the simple things, and the thing is, this is submitted, I raised the issues, not clarified, sir, the things will happen like this only here. Degree is awarded. That is what the pathetic. Degree is awarded here. That means if two examiners are supporting your thesis, your degree will be awarded. That is how things are moving. That means the other guides also, examiners also don't know about the statistics. That much is very clear. Fine. Now you see how the background characteristics again. Again, one of the recent theses I have gone through. Here it is again, frequency is like this, and percentage is giving in parentheses. Sir, please go through any international standard thesis and publications. My sincere suggestion is go through any international standard publications and thesis. This is what is happening in our context, Indian context is in some of the departments. I am not commenting about all. In some of the departments, like Uma madam has completed one thesis, I will copy her thesis analysis, same thing. The other candidate will cover both of their thesis. This is what is happening. But where is the mistake has happened? Nobody is ready to argue or clarify. Okay, that is what the problem is going on. Next one. This is another problem. Sir, I don't know. I am really ashamed of this type of thesis. The whole analysis, you see, if you compute the cumulative of these, it won't match with this. If you compute these two, add or sum up, it won't match this. This is different from the coming different place. This is coming from different place, and finally table is prepared like this. And anybody can say what is this 100 and what is this 100? What is this 200 and what is this 200? This 100? I know it is percentage, nothing more. But percentage has to be expressed in percentage, decimal point, or you have to give. Otherwise, the examiner or I myself will confuse. What is this 100 and what is this 100? Because 100 number of cases are there. And this 100 easily identifiable. You see, I have such a focus that if it is 100, the number of cases and number of frequencies should be same. And this is wrong. You can see. If it is 27%, it will work 27% only. Isn't it? Or if you are calculating horizontally, okay, I agree. But horizontally, if it is not matching, this total is not matching this with this total. This degree is given, sir. Okay. Similarly, here also you say, And here 0, 0, 0, and 4 cases are there. Where it is, I don't know. It is there as it is in the BCG because that is copied from somewhere. My God. Okay. So this is the type of things which we are getting. Nobody is serious about statistical analysis, except a few. To the best of my knowledge, about 70% not serious enough, most of the students, and as well as the guides. I'm sorry to say that. And students as well as the guides. Next category.
One of our learned friend has wrote that learning of scholars depends on the guide.
Baba, I'm not coming to that point now. That is $1 million question. Then guides will ask, what you fellow you are doing without learning, you have come up for PhD, they will ask. Okay. We have faced such situations when I was in working profession. Okay. Don't do it.
It was me who wrote that.
Fine. Anyhow, keep the points. That will be interesting. You see, we have to exchange our ideas. I am telling you that we have to exchange our ideas. I do agree. That is one of the good points. But the so-called guides, they have crossed their age now. They may not interested to do all these things. Who will learn now? At least young scholars, like thanks to Dr. Uma, I am telling, because the FDP program of this capacity building is for that purpose only. Learn, teach. Otherwise, don't join in the higher education profession. My suggestion is like that. I am giving several programs to our Bharatiya University. Almost all orientation courses I am taking since 1999. You may believe it or not. And refresher courses in all social sciences I used to take. And most of the places I am talking about this one mainly. Don't go for higher profession. Why you are spoiling your own career and others' career also? Otherwise, shrewd the scholar, you learn and come to me. You may not know, though wherever you possible, you learn. You also learn with him. Or there is nothing wrong. After all, teacher is a teacher. We have accepted this profession. It is lifelong learning for us. Forget about whether student is going to learn or not. Otherwise, they will simply ask a question. You don't know this question and you are asking me to learn. They will ask like that. Okay, this is a process. We are also in the learning process. And knowledge is ocean. Everybody knows. I may be knowing 20%, 30% only. 80% of the things I don't know. I'm humble to say. No exaggeration. A person need not be a scholar in all avenues. Only whichever the discipline, whichever the specialization, even discipline also specialization is there. In that specialization, if you are excelling, you are really a good scholar and good teacher. That's all. Now, I'm coming to the cross tabulations and the bivariate. Any questions up to this? Okay. Questions collect panni vachunga. Cross tabulations and bivariate analysis. Because two types of things are there. Our guide used to tell from those days. If nobody is asking, means you didn't understood number one, or you understood everything without understanding.
Let us assume second one.
Second one. Okay. Good. Now I'm coming to the cross tabulations or bivariate analysis. Okay, it is already 11:10. You need any break? Some 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I will proceed, no problem, but up to 12:30. Definitely before 12:30, it may not, because that much stuff is there here. Anyhow, cross tabulations are bivariate analysis. Association between one or more independent variables and one dependent variable. Please remember, the cross tabulations will be done with one variable, one dependent variable each time. You may take several number of dependent variables, there is nothing wrong. But at a point of time, one dependent variable will be there, several number of independent variables will be there. If the dependent variable is categorized, I have given clearly, you see, if the dependent variable is categorized 2 or 3. I personally feel if it is 4 categories and above, it is of no use. If your dependent variable is 4 categories and above, your analysis of no use, to the best of my knowledge. That is different. Not that this is if you explain, I may not be convinced. Okay, don't worry. But the independent variable also has categories. Here, of course, though I didn't given that how many categories. Independent variables, I didn't give how many categories. But to be frank, the independent variables also as limited as possible. Minimum 2 categories are very much essential. Everybody knows. If you take gender, the so-called male, female, minimum 2 categories will come. If you take caste, minimum 3 categories will come, or sometimes 4 categories. In Tamil Nadu case, 4 categories will come. In Andhra case, 3 categories will come. Okay, you can take any. With the Tamil Nadu, the MBC, most backward caste number is more. So purposefully, the categorization there they will make SC, ST 1 category, MBC 1 category, BC 1 category, and then OC come 1 category. So 4 categories will be there. In Andhra situation, only 3 categories to the best of my knowledge. So 4th is not there. Okay, all BCs, SC, ST, forward. Okay, that sort of thing. Anyhow, that depends upon your convenience. So what I mean to say is independent variables also, as far as possible, minimum 2 categories, maximum 4 or 5. If it is goes beyond that, again there may not be any much what you can say information to grab from that. Okay, so you up to 5 if you take, you can see a pattern. As education increases, what is happening? As occupation increases, what is happening? You can see as income increases, what is happening. If it is more than 5 categories, even in the independent variables, it may not serve the purpose of the so-called chi-square analysis. You can do. I am not telling that you are not supposed to do. You can do, but meaning-wise, it is not that much. Anyhow, what we will do then, percentages and frequencies we will compute. Okay, in the case of categorized variables, and chi-square test should be done. This was the first step, as I told you in the beginning. Now, in the second case, if the dependent variable is discrete or continuous, already I told you what is discrete and what is continuous. The independent variables is 2 categories only. Please keep in mind, if the independent variable is 2 categories only, then mean and standard deviation will be computed for dependent variable. Please remember, mean and standard deviation will be computed for dependent variable by the categories of independent variable, and t-test will be done. Okay, then if the dependent variable is discrete and continuous, okay, and independent variable is 3 plus categories. Again, as I told you, if it is more than 5, if you go, may not be that meaningful. Anyhow, that is different. Then mean and standard deviations will be computed for dependent variable, and one-way ANOVA test will be computed. One-way ANOVA and sometimes it is F test people used to say. Okay, this is what a minimum statistical analysis everybody will do to the best of my knowledge. Okay, if somebody has done beyond that, please tell me. Now, I will finish another 10 minutes the so-called chi-square test. Then I will have some 5 minutes break only. Then I will come. Okay. Now chi-square test. Everybody knows about the chi-square test. Already I told 2 to 3 times. I'm not giving any slide here on chi-square test, because if you see chi-square test, the assumptions, etc., you will fear. Okay. Just because without any assumptions all taken into consideration in the software. Okay, so if you simply compute one chi-square for through cross tabulation, age and overall health status. Please remember here the age of the person with the overall health status of the elderly. They have been asked to give poor, whether their health is currently they feel as poor, average, and good. 3 categories are there. Try to understand. Then age-wise, 61 to 65, 66 to 70, 71 and above. That's all. Okay. And this is the output of the table. Please remember, this is the output of the table as it is if you compute through SPSS software. Okay. And after this, it gives the Pearson chi-square value of this much. What is the degrees of freedom and what is the level of significance? The computer itself will give. Otherwise, like Dr. Roma was telling, we struggled those days, compute, go to the table value in the statistical books at 2 degrees of freedom, what is at 5% level, what is at 1% level, what is at 0.001% level, then you have to decide. Now all these things are damn easy for you. The compute itself or the software itself will give you at what level it is significant. Am I right, Mama? That's the way correct, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, this is so from this, and another pathetic thing is even some of the scholars, they don't want to prepare a table also. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Just the SPS software is a provision. You can export this table and these results as it is. Okay, and keep in the text, write something, and that ends the matter. And I don't want all those things. Okay, I want what exactly is happening as the things are going. That you have to interpret in a few words, isn't it? And few words are not explained nowadays. Scholars, what they are doing is there is association between the age and overall health status of the elderly. Finish. Chi-square test shows there is a significant association. What type of association? Isn't it? Can't you explain in 2-3 lines? So, but that is not being done. And this table as it is given in the thesis for your client information, output. Anyhow, my point of argument is like this. You see the table now here. The table, of course, as I told you, this is one variable. And another thing I forgotten at the time of frequency tables itself, still, because I have completed my PhD in 1985. So now about 35, and this is that is another 15, and this is almost 36, 37 years over. Still, people, I used to see the thesis for one variable, one table, one big diagram, followed by the, what is that, interpretation. You may believe it or not, I will tell you one story here. My guide in 1984, I am about to preparing analysis, etc. Those days, of course, my guide is a typical guide. So those days, generally, the examiners, foreign examiners and Indian examiners, what is that, reports, PhD reports will not be revealed to anybody. Am I right or wrong, ma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Even guide don't tell the candidate also. Okay, don't worry. But this, as I told you, my guide is a person, you know, Dr. Uma Professor Mahadeva. He is such a personality. One day he called me. I was doing PhD first year that time, MPhil completed. Yeah, Adi, you go through this report. He asked me to read it. See, I am sorry to say that I am poorer in English at that point of time. Please try to understand. Even now, my knowledge is only basic English only. Okay, so I was reading. So I reading the so-called our Indian examiners, they won't write anything. I'm again sorry. This is the fault of the examiners. The abroad examiners from abroad, they won't leave that easily. Okay, so that fellow examiner says that this is a typical Indian dissertation I received. Okay, wherein the candidate excelled. The candidate excelled by providing table followed by the diagram, followed by the description, comma, table, diagram, description, comma, table, diagram, description, dash, 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 he put. I told, then he asked me, what is the meaning of that? I told you, that's what we have done, sir. So he has given excelled, sir. He is telling excelled. You fellow, he says, you are criticizing, he is criticizing us, he is telling. I could not understand what you mean. Then I told him, no, sir, he has given like this only. Then he said, you read in between lines, he asked me. To be frank, I don't know the in between lines meaning. Sir, lines only, sir. Lines, he is telling this, sir. He got annoyed. The meaning of in between lines is entirely different. Okay, that means you read and understand clearly, he says. So what he says is, he is criticizing, this is not the way of writing the thesis. Okay, you are giving a table, a big diagram of one page, and the description, not interpretation. Sorry, there is a difference between description and interpretation. No scholar don't know. I am really sorry to say that. What is the description? In the above table, above table is not there. It is in the next page, the previous page. Above table is not there. Okay. So in the above table, the data shows that 82% are Hindus 11% are Muslims, 6 to 7% are Christians. Arey Baba, this is there in the table. Then what exactly you are writing there? Because as a candidate, I don't know. That is the meaning. That is the problem. So the interpretation, what he says is, Hindus are large in number, followed by Muslims and Christians. That ends the matter. One sentence. We don't know. I don't know how to write that. This is the difference we are facing. Like Mohammed was telling that even after getting the tables, interpretation is going to be difficult. Whether you are making a description, meaningful interpretation has to be done. Try to understand, not a description. Okay, so like that, this is the problem we are facing. Like that, nowadays, what is happening is without knowing that, simply there is association. That's all. That ends the matter. Anyhow, so this is how you see 3 variables are given in the same table, and FTA here. FTA means, of course, here it is not given. This is first trimester abortions, STA second trimester abortions, and this is the total. Percentages have been calculated row wise here. Another simple thing, I will ask the question and you have to answer. The second question is that in the SPSS software, after giving the command for cross tabulations, it will ask row variable, column variable. Okay, how many of you know this meaning of this row variable and column variable? Then once if you go to the subcommand, after giving this, if you go to the subcommands, it will ask cells. Cells, this is one cell, this is another cell, this is another cell, like that. It is a cell. Cross section of the row and column is called cell. Cells, you want percentages in column wise, row wise, total wise. I'll challenge with you, how many of you know this one? Even after this, my email ID is given. I have no objection to guide you. You give me the correct answer for that. Okay. Right now, I am not telling. Okay. Right. So this is how this has to be done. Here, column wise, row wise computed. Why? I am asking you. Okay. But chi-square value is given here. Here, this is it. Chi-square value is given. And as I told you, you see, in category in chi-square, you need minimum number of observations or respondents. Here, out of 6 candidates, only 5 are here and 1 candidate only is here. Now the problem comes, as per the rule of the chi-square assumptions or the instructions, a minimum of 5 observations should be in a particular cell. But in this cell, it is only 1. But in the computer, the adjustment have been made with the 8's correction. And therefore, it will give automatically this, what is that, chi-square value. And you can take it for granted that this is given by the SPSS, so we can take it for granted. It is significant. But in general, if such categories are there, better not to compute chi-square. My suggestion, better not to compute. In this case, it is a case of different in nature. See, this is those who are undergoing abortions. Their data is analyzed here. The candidate wants to show that among 6 never married girls, never married, they are not married. But out of them, 6 have gone, out of which 1 has gone for FTA, first trimester abortion, within 3 months abortion. And the second trimester abortion, after 3 months abortion. The second trimester abortions are dangerous compared to the first trimester abortion. That is what the candidate's interest here. So he wants to show that, see, out of 5, out of 6, 5 have gone for second trimester abortion. It is dangerous to their health. That's what he wants to highlight here. That's why analysis is done like this. Otherwise, not necessary to, if I am personally doing, accepted to do analysis, means I won't do that. I'll simply say that out of 5, this has been happened. Of course, while interpretation, I have given him caution saying that limitations are there due to sample. You write a sentence. That is the way you have to do your perfectly when you are writing thesis. Here you see the education. How many groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. You can drag more than that because 428 cases are there, but it may not be that much useful if you try going on dragging one. Okay, so this is how the cross tabulations with chi-square, and it will give the chi-square value. It will be a significant level also. Another thing I am showing here: current age and caste, and poor, average, good health. You can see what is the use of this type of analysis. If you ask, you can see any extreme. You can go to this extreme or this extreme. When 3 categories is there, that is the difficulty you will face. When 2 categories are there, you are comparing only this one to this one. Okay, so here you can easily say that urban woman going for second trimester abortion is comparatively less compared to rural woman. Finish. Okay, but here the problem is because this always deviates. Third midpoint will always deviate. Better you go to this or you go to this at the time of interpretation. As age increases, you can see as age increases, the percentage of reporting good is declining. Naturally, a person becomes more and more aged. How health will be good? I am suffering with multiple problems. Naturally, as age increases. That's what. Similarly, caste-wise, if you take SC, ST are suffering more compared to OBCs in this data. Okay, so like that, the interpretation has to be done carefully. Now I will show you one more table and we will have a break. Sorry, ma, our department, I think your own department this is having. You can see how the analysis is done. 2, 3, T, 1, 1, 1, and here no data, chi-square is computed. And degrees of freedom is given. Naturally, no association will come. I told you, number of cases, if I am doing analysis or giving a suggestion to do analysis, I might have clubbed these two. Not necessarily before. See, what is that? Below average and average, you can club hardly 2, 3, 2 cases. What you are going to do? My point of argument is just compare with those average and below and average and above average. Compared to these two, at least sufficient number of cases are there. Compared to these two, isn't it? And naturally, degrees of freedom will increase here. So you will get this type of association. In spite of having this much chi-square, your association is no association. We are losing the information. Sorry to say that. If it is one table, fine. 40 tables means 40 tables will be like this. Really sorry. Okay. This is another thesis. Some 10-15 years back. I am keeping all these things examples for people like you. At least you, after learning this, don't do any mistake. Okay. As I told you here, the percentages will be computed either row wise or column wise or total. 3 types, isn't it? Cells. Here, by just seeing the table, if you want to take a WhatsApp copy also, snap you can take and tell me where it is went wrong. How percentages are computed here? Anybody? Not only this, like that, another table. In this thesis, 44 tables are there. All tables invariably like this only. The whole analysis, strictly speaking, is wrong. Award, the thesis is awarded. Very recently, just last December, I saw a thesis like this. This is another typical story. You see here, only frequencies are given. Chi-square is computed. Okay. And the interpretation is given below like this. No interpretation, further interpretation. What is interpretation? The test of association of results. What is this? Showed statistically significant association in the psychological and the overall empowerment of children suffering with the disabilities with the period of meeting of respondents, inclusive neighborhood children's parliament. Of course, this is children's parliament under some of the places where NGOs are running that. And there is association between psychological and four types of empowerment he has studied. One is personal empowerment, second one is psychological empowerment, third one is social empowerment, fourth one is overall empowerment. Overall empowerment is nothing but clubbing of these three. Okay, like social empowerment, economic empowerment we used to study. But in the process, the analysis is done like this, and the table is prepared like this. And it was at the final, he says, it was inferred that period of meeting of respondents in inclusion of neighborhood children parliament did enhance, please underline the word, did enhance the psychological and overall empowerment of the children with disabilities, children with disabilities, and through inclusive neighborhood children parliament activities. Simply confusing. He confuses the others also. But that is, there is no support for did enhance. How can you say did enhance like this here? He says based on the chi-square test. Chi-square test will give you the association only. This is the and this. And here one more thing I would like to highlight. This is significant at 0.5 level, less than 0.05. This is also significant at less than 0.05. Now my argument comes in two ways. One is, what is the necessity to give P 0.0 greater than 0.5? Statistically it is correct. I am not blaming. Statistically it is correct. But as a layman, I am not able to understand, because you know the study, you don't know the statistics. I am sorry to say that. So you can simply say that not significant. What is wrong in it? Isn't it? This is not significant. This is not significant if it is above than 5. Or if it is worth to go up to 10%, you can go up to 0.10. Another question: is it 0.10 is allowed in the thesis or not? 10% level is allowed in thesis or not, or publication or not? Anybody has idea? You note down the question. And here one more thing I would like to highlight is here chi-square value is 10.523, but still he has given only P is less than 0.05. Why? Can't he go beyond? That too, he might have done the analysis by computer only. I think I saw the methodology chapter. He said SPSS was used. When SPSS was used, it will give the exact point. Why he has given only 0.05? For a kind information, just today morning, Dr. Uma, I computed the same table. Computed the same table with the same data. You see how it is coming. This is what one expected. You are supposed to give the percentages. Without percentages, your frequencies has no valid. I'm sorry to say that. If you see here carefully, you see the percentages here, it is calculated low and high, taking the empowerment of low and high horizontally, not column wise, vertically. Okay, sorry, horizontally computed, not vertically. So what happens here? If you add these two, 100 will come. For all these things, 100 is here. Total number of cases is 159 at each domain. This is one domain, this is one domain, this is one domain. 4 domains are there. Simple things here, making more complex, and without understanding, writing something. And always your percentages should be open, and your frequency should be in parentheses. Try to learn from now. I'm sorry to say that. Okay. Then here you see, by seeing the percentage of low increases when the children are participating in 1 week, of fortnight, and once in a month. What is happening? As the frequency is increasing, that is more the frequency, this is actually very soon they are participating. This low is low and high is percentage is high here. What is meaning? those who are going, attending the meeting once in a month, their empowerment of low is high. Higher percentage of them are having low empowerment. That is personal extent of personal empowerment. Whereas the high, when you say high, as those who are working, attending the meeting weekly, their high percentage is high. And when they are not attending, when they are attending only 1 month and so, it is low. That's why it is significant. There exactly a reverse case is there here, you see, that you can easily understood by providing the data. Same thing, only these significant things you see here. This is a significant again. This is significant, actually these two are significant. Here also same thing, 32, 45, 53. Exactly reverse will come here, 67, 55, 46. This sort of understanding and grasping the thing is very much essential. And for kind information, here you see, once in a month, once in a week, once in a fortnight, once in a month. Which with these two, which one is correct? I am giving here correct. This is correct. Anybody? Periodicity wise, whether this is correct?
Please repeat the question, sir, please.
Periodicity, that is how many days in once the child parliament used to conduct, or he will attend the meeting of child parliaments. Once in a week, once in a fortnight, once in a meeting, once in a month. Is the order is correct? Because I told you while coding, you have to code in such a way that the data should be from lower to higher. Say this is in the case of here, it is higher to lower, no problem. Once in a month is higher. Once in a week is higher. Once in a fortnight means 15 days once, little bit lower. And once in a month, further little bit lower. Am I right? And our great man, what he has done is here, you see, once in a week.
Sir, danikana weekly and asante chalu, weekly, fortnightly.
Whatever it may be. Okay, you are also right. Weekly, fortnightly, monthly. Okay. But here he has done once in a week and it comes once in a month next code. No, what I mean to say is simply confusing. You are confusing yourself, you are confusing the examiner, and you are confusing the next generation. Yeah, this thesis will be copied by another person. You know very well. It will be kept in the library, isn't it? Library now you can download from Shodhganga easily. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Shodhganga is helpful now. You need not. I can sit in my home and I will get Shodhganga, provided if you register, of course. So this is the things are happening, and you see how I have made the interpretation. I have modified the test of association results between in the word illanga. The between word is not there. Between what? Between the periodicity of meeting of the respondents in inclusive neighborhood children parliament. One that is independent variable, and the psychological empowerment, one dependent variable, and the overall empowerment of the children with disability, another dependent variable, at a moderate and higher level of significance. I forgotten here. Actually, here it is. You see, the value is much higher. You can say still much better results are there. 0.01 it is there. Why he has not given? Isn't it? So finally, hence it is inferred. Sorry, it is inferred that periodicity of meeting of respondents in inclusive neighborhood children parliament is likely to enhance the psychological and overall empowerment with the support of data. I didn't write that. That with the support of data, you have to give low periodicity. Suppose once in a week once in a month, that much you have to write. One more sentence. You didn't give. Okay, I need just 5 minutes break. Okay, just 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Meanwhile, you can raise the issues if you have anything. Write the questions. Okay.
Sure.
Exactly 5 minutes. I will come back. This is about what is the time now? 11:50. 5 minutes. I will come back.
Now, all the participants, I request you to prepare your questions, whether it may be in chat boxes or you can raise. Those who are in the Zoom meeting, they can raise their voice. when Sir has come back. Hello, don't you have any questions? Please feel free to ask questions. Want to know about the preparation of theoretical framework, whether it depends on data or the variable or both. Very good. Anyone else, please? I am not speaking anything about the statistics and the statistical analysis of because I'm not that much familiar with this. But I can say simply that I can use statistical analysis package, SPSS package, for my data analysis, and I won't go anywhere to get analysis of my data. And I used to do with my own computer, and I'll prepare. But after attending this program, I am just feeling happy that I'm doing in right way. I am not committing such mistakes that Sir have told us. I must be thankful for that, for my guides and Adinarayana Sir also, because he trained me in SPSS. When I was joined in 2013 in Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, the first program I have attended is Adinarayana Sir's a 1 week training program on capacity building program on SPSS, utilization of SPSS in social science research. That was my first program in Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalaya I attended, and there I learned. Of course, previously I attended only 2 days program, and I began to calculate frequencies. After joining with the SARS training program, I learned much. Sir, now you can take up, sir.
No
one question is there.
Please carry on.
Want to know about the preparation of theoretical framework, whether it depends on data or the variable or both.
Data, variable or both. Okay, good. Good question. Where is it from?
Sir, it's from me.
What is the good name, ma?
Mahalakshmi Tiwari.
Hey, Tiwari. Yeah, Dekho. Hey, my student here. He's working as an assistant professor in VIT.
Sir,
Very good. Thanks for joining. Good.
Question arise because
Very good.
Recently,
See, normally the theoretical framework or conceptual framework more or less same. See, most of the social science research, the conceptual, the theory is the base. Without theory, we won't move. Especially, I think Dr. Mahalakshmi is in sociology. So, sociological theories are plenty of theories are there. For any topic you are selecting, first of all, what are the variables that are likely to influence that particular phenomenon? That is a variable, independent variable, as I told you. You have to explore the theory first. Then later, at the next stage, you have to see the empirical evidences also. How many people have studied those theoretical aspects, empirically tested? That's why empirical data we used to say. What we used to do, review of literature, my point of argument I told you in the beginning. You have to go through the theoretical framework, theoretical developments, you have to go through the empirical developments, you have to go to methodological developments also. So when you are going to the first theory, then next one is empirical developments. You will come across what type of variables are they have taken into consideration. So strictly speaking, your conceptual framework stops there. Okay. So how many, what type of theory supports your topic and what are the variables studied? In addition to that, now you are proposing, that's where you have struck up, I think. In addition to that, whether you are proposing any new variables now, you can add. But those new variables, you have to link between these things with the dependent variable. So the dependent variable will come right extreme. And all those theoretical aspects and the variables that you are going to study, already studied, and you are going to raise certain issues, how these two are affecting the dependent variable. That is what the total conceptual framework or theoretical framework. So both theory plays an important role, variables plays an important role. The variables of existing in nature and not studied, which you are likely to study new. If your theoretical framework is clear, based on that, your working hypothesis, please remember, your working hypothesis or hypothesis per se will be easy because you know the links now, where it is, how each variable, how it is going to affect. And through theory also you will understand. Am I right, Tiwari? Good.
Yes, sir. Actually,
Join.
this question.
But somehow I am sorry you didn't learn analysis part when you are with me. Am I right?
No, I did not.
Maybe because of I retired and you didn't.
Yeah, there were, certain constraints were there indeed.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah, still learning. Thank you.
One of the good students, but unfortunately, after retirement only she could able to submit. But good comments. Yes, any others? And for your information, some of the people are not preparing conceptual framework. Just they will proceed. These are the variables available. All the variables I will study, isn't it? Without understanding what to do. Anyhow, time may not be sufficient. Shall I move to next one?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, please? Now I am moving to one-way ANOVA or student test. Both are more or less same. As I told you, if your dependent variable is what is that? Discrete and continuous, and independent variable is having only two categories, you will go for student t-test. If your independent variable has 3 and more categories, you will go for one-way ANOVA. Okay. So for this, first you have to prepare a mean and standard deviation table. Sorry. Yeah, you see the table here, the mean scores. As I told you, once if you come across the ANOVA or t-test, generally scores will come into picture. So this is one of the theses where quality of life score, hope WHO quality of life dimensions, etc. Some of the faculty and some of the scholars may be knowing. They have 5 domains. Domain 1 physical, domain 2 psychological, domain 3 social, and domain 4 environment. And all to put together is the total quality of life. Okay. So each one have, I think it is 5-point scale if I remember well. So scores will be given for each age group. The scores will be computed like this. Of course, for want of space, standard deviations are not given. Strictly speaking, the mean always should follow with the standard deviation. Okay, but here already is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variable, 5 dependent variables. Strictly speaking, one dependent variable is categorized into 5 different variables now. Okay, so for all these things, how the mean varies between the age groups. You can easily see from as age increases, the domain 1, domain 2, forget about all those things. The quality of life decreases. The results will come like that. Okay, or in other words, you can say the quality of life of those who have completed 60 and above is less compared to these two age groups. Finish. One word. And that is significant up to what level? 0.01 level. And this will be, the computer will give you. As I told you, when Dr. Uma was telling, they calculated, computed ANOVA through hand, and even chi-square I calculated through manually. All these things happened those days. But now computer will give you, it is a hot cake for you. Only you have to eat, but eat in a right perspective. Similarly, nuclear family. Here you see, I give purposely this is one ANOVA, whereas here it is T value. So T value will be, it is called popularly known as student T test. Strictly speaking, when our sample is 30 and less, only T value has to be used. But later, you see the another one I didn't use here. Z value, Z value, you know, Z value is the transformation of the T value. If your sample size is 30 and above, then naturally that Z value will come into picture. And this T value and that Z value is more or less same. Okay, please remember that. Okay, these are the things, because you may see later Z value, sir, what is this Z value? Z value also is computed like this only. If it is sample size is 30 and above, according to statisticians, 30 and below is the small sample size. Try to understand. The student T test is supposed to be used only small samples, but at the same time for two categories only. That's why it is used like this. So here also it is like this. You see, nuclear family and joint family. I think the result shows that those who are living in joint families have higher quality of life. Okay, result shows like that. The same, another example I am giving here, the IEP score, mean scores of IEP, the children suffering with the mental retardation. For them, some school is developed here, and it is provided the T test. Only rural urban means T test is coming into picture here. For each one, here you see, as space is there, here mean, standard deviation is given. Before going to, they have been given a special training for about 2 years. Okay, then before what is the status, after what is the status, and both the places it is significant. That means urban students or urban children, those who are suffering with mental retardation, are getting much benefit through the special training, both in the before as well as after. So instead of, we can say that on the one side training is there, the other side locality also plays an important role. Okay, that is how it is like this. Similarly, you see, I told you even here five categories are there. Number is as you see, numbers are very small after a certain age. I suggested actually better to club this and better to club this, but the candidate wants to that they want to do some special programs for those who are these age groups. That's why they want to separate. Okay, fine, enjoy, isn't it? So that is requirement of the data for policy purposes. That is important. This is the original output you will get like this. See, this is actually this is the table, ANOVA table. The whole thing is ANOVA table. And for your kind information, in some of the theses, the ANOVA table is copied and pasted or exported from SPSS to this one. Anybody knows what is the difference between this, between the groups and across the groups, within the groups? Then my point of argument, why you are confusing yourself? Just give, we need only the F value and significant level. That's all. For your results, only these two things are very much sufficient. But full table they will give. This is another story. The one which I showed the cross tabulation, I asked a question. They are supposed to reply to me why the percentages are like that. So from the same thesis, F ratio have been computed. Okay, and here with the 2 stars it is given. Actually, the value is given by the computer itself. And here another thing you see, OC to BC, OC to SC/ST, BC to SC/ST. Who has asked all these things? Whether we have such a hypothesis in our hand? I searched in the thesis. No hypothesis. Cost-wise, you see, generally it is known fact that compared to SC, the others scores may be deviated. That much only you will prepare. There is no association between cost and psychological impact. You will say like that much. Okay, but purposely here is started because the statistician doesn't know what exactly the candidate knows, and candidate doesn't know what exactly he wants. That is the problem. And in addition to that, keeping this one as it is in the thesis. It is there as it is in the thesis. That's why I am given. Otherwise, I don't know ABCD about this one. Okay, so that is the story of t-test and other things. Now I am coming to because time may not sufficient. Now I am coming to bivariate analysis correlations. The correlations is a typical type of statistical analysis wherein both the independent and dependent variables should be in discrete or continuous in nature. So far we have discussed categorize. Here categorize don't allow. Okay, so correlation is a statistical measure that expresses the extent to which two variables are linearly related. As the increase takes place in one variable, what is happening in the next variable? Okay, that is what the importance of the correlation. Okay, so meaning they change together at a constant rate. So it is a common tool for describing simple relationships without making a statement about cause and effect. Because in experimental designs only cause and effect will be allowed. Here cause and effect, no. Which one is influencing which one, we don't know. Okay, only thing is we can say that these two are linearly correlated. An increase takes place in one variable, a decrease will take place, or another increase will take place. That much only correlation. But there is a positive and negative can be given. That I have given here somewhere. One can interpret the strength of correlation as well as sign with the direction relationship between independent and dependent variable. So you can take into independent dependent variable with the sign effect, minus plus will be there. Okay, that's why the correlations is a Pearson correlation coefficient is a popular one. There are other rank correlations are there, other correlations are there, but Pearson correlation for actual data. So is the most common one. The values would be between minus 1.0 to plus 1.0. Whatever values will come, they will come within this range only. Okay, and they are also called zero order correlation coefficients. If only 1 and 1 is done, they are called zero order correlation. There is a correlation matrix also for kind of information. You can test the whole matrix can be prepared. In the output, it will come like that. So I have given two types of examples here. You can see the dimensions of women's empowerment. I am telling from the beginning. So women's empowerment in terms of economic empowerment, social empowerment, psychological empowerment, political empowerment, overall empowerment. Okay. Generally, you see the overall empowerment is nothing but the summation of all these empowerments. Okay. So you can see the overall empowerment is positively correlated, or economic empowerment is positively correlated overall. So this is positively correlated overall, positive correlated. All are, it starts with 3.32 to 0.698, 697, 695, etc. So all these are highly significant. Or as the economic empowerment, social empowerment, psychological empowerment, political empowerment increases, the overall empowerment of women will increase naturally, isn't it? This is what. But these three are much higher compared to this one. Which one? The economic empowerment is not that much higher, but statistically it is higher. Try to remember that. 3 stars means, you see, 2 stars and 3 stars are given. 3 stars means it is 0.001. 0.001 highest. Okay. So only one thing is coming negatively. If it comes like this, then you have to give explanation. Why all are positive, only one is negative. That means here the meaning is, as social empowerment increases, economic empowerment is decreasing. What could be the reasons? You have to explain. Okay, that is the importance of this sign. All are positive, except this one is negative. As a researcher, you have to give your explanation. Then comes, you see, as shown earlier, the quality of life. For this many variables, now these are all independent variables. how these independent variables are correlated with each dimension with the total quality of life. And certain disciplines, you may believe it or not, I was laughing at that point of time. Now the cross tabulation already done. Do you agree? With the same data. And again, the candidate and the guide, they are asking, we need correlations. What for? Not necessary. That is, too many cooks spoil the food. Like that, too many statistics spoil your research caliber. I don't know. Both are bivariate analysis only, or cross-tabular type of analysis only. But they have presented, because they have to satisfy somebody. That discipline, they are following like that. Whether you like it or not, sir, we need this table. Okay, chalo. For me, what is there? Okay. And while I told you in the beginning, see, strictly speaking, only those independent and dependent variable which are in nature of what is that discrete and continuous, only supposed to be used in correlations. But in this case, what is happening, you see, these two variables, what is this, place of birth and the type of family, they are not continuous variables, please remember. Okay, but as a, because I have done the analysis, I know how to interpret that. Okay, I have given purposely here urban and joint. What is the meaning? Here urban is given a score of 1, rural is 0, and here the type of family, nuclear is given as 1 and joint is 2. So the meaning here, interpretation, while writing the interpretation, what you are right, as family increases, quality of life increases. No, it won't work like that. So what you have to tell is, urban respondents have higher quality of life than the rural. Joint family respondents from joint families have higher quality of life compared to rural. That is what are highly correlated. This is how interpretation has to be. Because with the latest, what is that? Modifications in the software, they are made like this is called dummy variable. Please remember, dummy variable, only yes and no, 0 and 1. That is allowed. Not only correlations, it can be used even for regression. Dummy variable in nature. And of late, another assumption they have waived, that is, if you are sure that the categories of 1, 2, 3, 4 are, the lowest one is lowest among the 3 or 4. The second lowest is the lowest among the other 2 or 3. You can use that. That is hierarchical in nature. If you code, if your variables are coded. For example, nowadays I am using cost like that, just like that cost I will use, because we know pretty well that the socioeconomic status of the SC/STs are less compared to MBCs, compared to BCs, compared to OCs. As a variable, it can be used now in correlation. Earlier, it was not the case, but here nowadays can be used. But before using that, you have to tell in the description of the variables that this variable has been coded like this. Otherwise, the examiners will confuse. Because that is a qualitative variable. You are using as a quantitative now, isn't it? Okay, that's what about correlation. Then you have one more test called parity test. In certain case, that is also mean and standard deviations only. Okay, but this is used in a specific conditions where the means of two measurements taken from the same individual or objects or related units. The persons will be same. Most of the experimental designs, not a strictly experimental, our experimental designs in social science research are called, research is called quasi-experimental designs. Okay, taking a control group and experimental group, or taking a single group before and after with an intervention. Am I right? That's what we are doing. When you are using intervention or comparing the control group and experimental group, this type of thing, a parity test will be useful because you are collecting the variable, that is dependent variable data, from the same persons only, not a different person. That is the condition. You see, this test is also known as dependent t-test or repeated measures t-test. Generally, such measurements are taken into two different times. Try to understand. So pre-test and post-test, some people used to say when an intervention is made or training is made. Now, for example, before training, what is your status? After taking up 1 week, are you able to understand? Dr. Uma might have prepared a questionnaire like that, isn't it? So before and after, okay, or at two different conditions. Like I already told you, completing a test under controlled condition and experimental condition. So control group, nothing will be given. Experimental group, some intervention will be given. That is what, or some training period, training will be given. So the purpose of the test is to determine whether there is statistical evidence that the mean difference between period of observations, paired observations, is significantly different from 0. So compared to the previous one, post is higher or not, or sometimes lower also, we don't know. And the t values are like the student t test only. Like previously we have done t test in the case of 2 categories like that. It is normally conducted with the dependent variables only. Here there is no independent variable. Please remember, only dependent variable which you are going to study, we are giving some intervention. So before intervention, after intervention, or before pre-test, after pre-test, that's all. And which are continuous discrete. As I told you, dependent variables should be continuous or discrete. Example I am showing here, you see, in one of the thesis, the candidate has studied management abilities before. These are all mean scores of the woman before and after joining self-help group, SHGs. Okay, so these are the management abilities have been measured in terms of these 5 statements by giving some scores. So before the mean is computed like this, after the mean is computed, as I told you, mean with standard deviation available, and t value is like this, and p value is like this. So all are invariably the significant. That means their management abilities of the woman have increased at a higher level, highly significant. That is the meaning ultimately. So this is a level of learning management abilities, this one total, and each individual is also it has been computed. Okay, now another one here I have given. This is this is available in your department, madam. So Hyderabad and Khammam 2 districts, wherein before some training, they have been given in environmental education. The women have been given environmental education. What is the mean score in these 2 districts, and what is the mean score after the these 2 districts? So change, this much change has been happened before and after, and highly significant. Okay. So in addition to that, at each point of time, whether district wise any variations are there. Yes, district wise also variations are there. That is this type. This is our previous t test actually. And now here they have put a F value, but is strictly speaking, this is a t test. Okay, 2 districts only, na? So compared to Hyderabad, you see, before it is Hyderabad, it is better, but after receiving the information, Khammam woman are score is higher compared to Hyderabad. So this type of interpretations we can make. So this is about t-test. This is also available in our department, madam. This is Mangra, so Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Development Scheme, under which before starting men workers and women workers separately, before and after, whether their annual family income increased or not. So such type of things. Okay. So this is also based on the t-test only. Parity test, parity test. Before and after annual expenditure, before and after debt also. Debt has to come down. Whether it has come down, yes. So this is how the things have to be interpreted. Now, I'm coming to the almost end, that is data analysis of data in terms of multivariate techniques. Really, very, very small number of people only in social sciences venture or take risk of going to multivariate level. Okay, because you have to give answer to the examiner. You have to understood clearly the multivariate technique. A lot many techniques are there. I am not discussing anything here. For example, regressions. First of all, why we are going for multivariate techniques? Mainly to see that, see, independently one to one variable, one independent variable, one dependent variable, significantly it will come. But in the presence of other variables, how much it is there, whether it is increased. And another thing, a group of variables, how much variation can be explained. Most of the social sciences, the variations called R square. Please remember this word, R square will be very, very small, you may believe it or not, because our variables are interconnected. Please remember, exclusive like in some of the economics discipline or commerce or business management, there most of them are in terms of continuous variables or figures will be there. There they will give you will get R square very high, 60%, 70% like that. But in social sciences, getting 10%, 12% or 15% itself is very enough. For a kind information, I have run my data in 1985. For kind information, I run my data. What is that? Stepwise regression. I have included 8 variables, of which only 3 variables have come. Only 3 variables. 33% variation. Luckily, I got 33% variation. I was wondering, and I don't know what my guide. My guide is a social scientist. He also doesn't know statistics much. So he told me frankly that you take the help from organization where we are working. International Institute of Population Sciences, plenty of statistics are available. So finally, he was overjoyed. 33% you got, yeah, sufficient. Don't worry. Okay, those days. Now 33%, if you say, hey, no use, yeah, you need 60%, 70%. What is this? You have not collected data properly. Your data is not explaining much variation in your different variable. Such fears are there nowadays. You have to explain why it is variation is less. Okay. Anyhow, so regression, linear regression and stepwise, these two are popularly used. Okay, I'm not giving any details, but the condition is the dependent variable should be discrete. Okay, as well as independent variable also discrete. Sometimes, as I told you, dummy variables, already I used this word, dummy variables are ordered categories. Sure of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you give, one is lowest than the among the 3, like that, if you are able to say clearly, then you can give ordered categories also. Then you have logistic regression analysis, where the dependent variable has to be categorized. This like we are in social sciences, these two have become more popular nowadays. You may believe it or not, because most of our variables are binary in nature, yes or no. Whether you have utilized the hospital facilities or not, whether you have utilized public health facilities more or compared to private health facilities. Why? What is the reason? What are the factors that are explaining? If such an attempt you want to take, then you will go for binary logistic regression. You can see dependent variable is dichotomous, yes, no. Or if it is 3 categories, multinomial, you have to go. Multinomial logistic regression analysis. So 3 categories, like I gave the examples of elderly health, poor, fair, good, like that. That type of cases you can go. Okay, but independent variables here, what one advantage is both discrete as well as categorized variables can be used. So that's why nowadays most of the social sciences, the binary logistic regression has becoming more and more popular, easily understood and easily to compute also, because software will give you the results. Okay, I have given only the tables here in this multiple linear regression analysis, because menstrual hygiene practices is an index. Scores, some 8 practices, scores have been developed, how they are happening. I have given here how the variable also is defined. This is very important. Current age in years means continuous variable. Years of schooling, continuous variable. Here are told ordered categories, 5 categories. Occupation is 5 categories. Then monthly income in rupees means continuous variables. Family size, total number of continuous variable. And mass media scores, continuous variable. And access to economic resources index, again continuous variable. And freedom of movement index score, continuous variable. So like that, these can be used, and these are the variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 variables are there. Some 12 or 13 variables have been entered. Okay, some will be taken out. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Mahadeva Swami has wrote that what is the reason behind employ the binary logistic regression model for dichotomous data?
Oh, very good. Very good. I will tell you after finishing this. Mahadev, I will tell you. In fact, Mahadev, I helped for his PhD thesis.
Okay.
That's why he is asking me now. Good. That's good thing. So like that it is there. Okay. Binary. So the next one is this is about stepwise regression analysis. One advantage in the stepwise regression analysis is you dump all the variables. Here you have to select the variables, but here you dump the R variable. You have, before going to this regression analysis, strictly speaking, linear, you have to test whether your variables are linearly distributed or not. Linearity test you have to make, strictly speaking. Nobody is telling though all those things, assumptions. Whenever you are using a particular analysis or technique, you have to understand the assumptions first, isn't it? Without understanding, if you do, you will lead into loop holes. So like that, here you can give any number of variables, but generally those who are which are having the system will select this many variables only, whichever are having significant up to 0.0% or 5% only, it will select. So that's why number of variables will be always less here. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables only are there, but all are significant. With significant variables only, it will select. That's why. But how much variation? As I told you, you see 18.8% only variation here. That is R square. Here I have forgotten R square. What is R square? Oh, I'm sorry, I have not given here R square. R square is there. Okay, this is what Madhav Swami asked now. So binary logistic regression analysis results are like this. So odds here the results will be given in terms of beta coefficient. They are nothing but standardized regression coefficients. So then odds ratios, in terms of percentages, odds also it will compute. That is, if the odds are above 1, it is positive. If the odds are below 1, it is negative. That is interpretation should be like that. In addition to that, it will give the level of significance also here. So this is one analysis of bivariate logistic. Then the here 31% for 46%. Of course, strictly speaking, bivariate logistic analysis regression R square is not that much useful, but still people used to cite. Then multinomial. So leaving here, you see, as I told you, the dependent variable is 3 categories. One category is elderly persons, those living alone. Second one is with the spouse only. Living alone means either a single person of male or female, whereas living with the spouse only means having a husband and wife together, and those who are living with the children. These 3 categories have been made. Of course, living with the children or with the others also added there. Okay, with somebody. Okay. So the idea behind here is how living alone varies with the children, those who are living with children, and how with what characteristics people are living with the spouse only compared with the children. This is the idea behind that. Like now I am coming to the Madhava's thing. You see here the idea is 2 categories only compared to the previous one. Why we are going for second one? I gave you this. Yes, domestic violence is taking place. Domestic violence not taking place is one category. Taking place is the second category. Compared to those not taking place, what type of characteristics people are ventured to go for domestic violence, or what type of categories of women suffered with domestic violence? That is the major idea behind like that, and therefore the what is the definition of variable has to be very clear. Always the particular category of respondents have to be given 1. That is number 1 has to be given. 0 has to be given, not suffer. Okay. Here 0, 1, 2 will be given, but you have to cite which one you are taking as reference category. The computer has what is that commands, it is there, provision is there. So I will say 0, 1, 2. 2 is the reference category, I will say. 2 is the reference category, I will say. So compared to 2, what is the role of 1? Compared to 2, what is the role of 0 and 1, like that. Okay, this is how the things are moving. It's not that easy job, but still, but results will get within a minutes. You may believe it or not, within a seconds, not even minutes. Well, finally, I am coming to the conclusion. Some people may have the apprehension. So far, you have discussed only going on telling statistics. What is the fate of our people like doing qualitative data analysis? Okay, really, strictly speaking, qualitative analysis is more laborious one. You may believe it or not.
Yes.
But qualitative data often takes on the form of interview transcripts, normally as it is. In fact, I have made focus group discussions and in-depth interviews to recorded form 2011. Some of the tapes are available. You have to hear, and then write. Okay, interview one side, transcription is one side. Even the person who is writing transcription may write differently. So the documents, open-ended survey responses, and also involve the interpretation of images and videos also. So that much qualitative data is on in our social scientists' hand. It is there. Thus, qualitative data analysis is not limited to the text-based only. Normally, qualitative analysis means people will jump to the conclusion that what is their content analysis. That is a popular one. I do agree. Content analysis will be done mostly by the language teachers, English and Telugu language teachers. At sometimes it may go for mass media and journalism also. Content analysis, collecting of seeing news items, that this. Okay. Similar thing can be done by several social scholars like us. Okay. So qualitative research focuses on words, descriptions, concepts or ideas in many ways. So qualitative data can be challenging and time consuming to analysis and interpret. Okay, that's why the qualitative analysis people may not interested. They're struggling. You have to struggle. You have to understood the phenomena. You have to understand the what is that dependent variable holistically. All things you know about statistics, but very difficult to understand all things for a single variable. Similarly, the long story should become short. Okay, so quality analysis can be a lot of work, and the types of qualitative analysis are these are all used. What are that? Most people they will use content analysis. Okay, comparatively easy, and there are certain narrative analysis are there, as you have seen. You can write, and discourse analysis is there. Don't ask me what is what. Okay. And thematic analysis is there, as I told you, videos and images by taking the thematic and themes. And ground theory is there, which is very popular in sociology, social work, psychology. And framework analysis is there. And interpretive phenomenological analysis, IP analysis. These are all different types of qualitative data analysis. Depending upon the discipline which you belong, depending upon the topic which you are collecting the data, you have to decide which analysis is useful for you. Just like that, some analysis is there I will use, it won't work for you. I'm sorry to say that. Then comes the software. Nowadays, people are tempted to do in software. Several types of softwares are available, but I am zero about all those things. Okay, I have used long back, 20 years back, I think, Atlas. That is one of the popular one. Okay, well, mostly themes it will select, themes and contents it will select. Okay, so that is you can use. And these are all a list I have given here. If somebody is interested, those who are really interested, go through that and get the software for you. And mostly used by whom? As I told you, history, anthropology, very popular, anthropology, social anthropology, and physical anthropology they use, and social psychology they used to have most one. English, Telugu, mass media and journalism, and legal studies, because they have to read so many documents through judgments and other things. So these are all certain things under qualitative data analysis. As I told you, I have given in a nutshell. I am not well versed about the qualitative data analysis also, I will accept. So if anybody is really interested, go through the literature as well as the software, understand the software clearly, and whether your topic is suitable for that or not, decide, and then go for qualitative data. So normally the methodology which you will say, as I told you, in addition to the text one, what is that? The so-called interviews are there. Focus group. I have done with the focus group discussions long back. Okay. Thank you for hearing. Any doubts, clarifications, etc. Most welcome. Some of the questions I asked, anybody is interested to reply?
Sir, madams
Please,
and
please.
dear participants, if you have any queries, questions,
Queries,
you can get
questions,
clarification
suggestions.
from the sir.
Even suggestions also I will.
There will be no suggestions, sir.
No,
Because
no.
your session is excellent.
Not like that, not like that. Sorry. People are there here to tell something it might have been better if you follow like this. I have no objection. I will follow.
Yeah. We must be learners before training.
What is there? Yes, please.
I would like to thank sir a lot because statistics was something I was never keen on. I would never take any interest in statistical understanding. So this is actually my first session where I have joined and I am so very happy about because I'm trying to see statistics in positive. I've been able to kind of see statistics with positive attitude. So I will look at it, even though like I have just become a student. All this life I've seriously become a student now. Until I'm not a student. That is why I am receiving
nice to hear
it
from you before you complete. Where are you from? Which discipline you belongs, madam?
I have joined ME Women and Gender Studies in Bharatidasan University. Here, Tamil Nadu.
Studies in Bharatidasan University.
Yes.
Who is heading now? Murugeshwari?
No, Manimekli.
Still madam is there?
Yes, Murugeshwari is there. Dr. Subha is also there. So the
Manimekli madam is my good friend.
Yes, definitely.
Manimekli madam is my good friend. We have conducted some programs. Thank you.
So
I'm my regards.
Sure,
this is only learning experience. Nobody is I cannot say that I know 100%. Good. You have taken positively. Positively.
Yes.
Good. Any others? Madhava, try to speak something. If you are there.
Yes, sir.
Have I answered your question first of all?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You are working
yes, sir. I'm working as a guest lecturer at University of Mysore.
Good. I think this program will benefit for you.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Good.
Thank you for the session, sir.
Oh, nice.
And also organizing secretary and.
It is all because of your interest only, yeah.
Sure, sir.
I would like to meet people like you, just to share my knowledge. Not that I'm a big scholar and all these things. I never say like that.
So I have a suggestion here.
ये देखो यार, come यार. Tiwari.
नहीं sir, क्या है ना कि
you have suggested for me 4-5 years. Again you want to suggest.
ना further for online, if things are happening online nowadays, right?
Very good.
Along with the logistic regression, multilinear and all that, if you share the screenshot of SPSS, that worksheet software, na?
Okay.
That which option is where?
Very good.
So that would be much easier for first-time learners.
Okay.
To identify the things, no, because you always say it's about click.
Yes.
So kahan click karna hai, where to click, they will be learning. So only that suggestion I have.
आपके लिए करेंगे बाबा, आप प्रोग्राम करो पहले.
आपको ही बुलाएंगे sir.
Her suggestion is valid, and for kind information, as she rightly pointed out, The logistic regression, multi-linear regression, exclusively 3 hours I have taken. She knows. That's why she is asking me. But a program like this within 2.5 hours, of course, I have exceeded my time, I know.
Invite you.
Taking the all things is not that easy job. Okay. You are right. You are right. I have already given last year to our own Bharatiya University Sociology Department. What is that? Binary logistic and logistic with commands. As you rightly pointed, with commands. That is available. If you are interested, I will send you. Don't
Please
worry.
send me, sir.
Very good. Very good. Nice.
Always interested.
You learn here. Yes. Any others? Only my students are asking. I think one Bharadasan student has asked. Any others? Come out here. Don't worry. Nobody is superior here. All are sailing in the same boat. Okay. If no others are there, I think the floor is left to Dr. Uma Garu.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your incredible speech.
Are Baba, what is there?
Thank you so much. Really, I am really indebted to you, sir, because
The only
soon
thing
after
is
you
the
have
scholars,
accepted
my only apprehension is the scholars have to make use of the statistics appropriately. Not
Yes,
that
sir.
all things are necessary. I told you already. Simple statistics which are useful and should be understandable to the layman. That's all. Okay. Carry on.
You started with the purpose of statistical analysis of data, need for understanding of data, multi-dimensional scaling, factor analysis, editing of data, code design, and maintaining the code book, examples for pre-coding, coding rules, types of variables, whether they are qualitative and quantitative nature, and characteristics of data analysis, dummy tables, preparation of dummy tables, and the importance of descriptive analysis, importance of valid percentage, and degrees of freedom, cross tabulations, and bivariate analysis, cross tabulations or bivariate analysis, and preparation of tables, and bivariate analysis, and multivariate techniques. All these things you have covered so far, sir. Thank you so much. And I know that it will be very difficult to cover all these aspects in one session. It will be much more difficult, and it is only possible to you as per my knowledge. And now I try to propose vote of thanks to close this session, sir, with your permission.
Yeah, carry on.
Thank you, sir. It is a privilege and a great honor to me to propose vote of thanks on behalf of the Women's Studies Center for the 5th 4-day session of the capacity building program on research methodology for social sciences. I would like to thank our today's resource person, Professor N. Adi Narayana, sir, for delivering such a captivating and amazing speech, and also his ready acceptance soon after I consulted him. Thank you so much, sir. And my special thanks are due to Professor G. Sandhya Rani, madam, who is also head the Center for the Women's Studies and Department of Women's Studies, and also the organizing secretary for this capacity building program. And I would like to extend my special thanks to Dr. M. Sucharita, my colleague, who helped me a lot in all levels in organizing the program successfully. I'd like to thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff of Women's Studies Center and Department for their support in organizing this one week capacity building program on research methodology for social sciences. If I would be failing in my duty, if I would not have expressed my gratitude to all the participants, without whose participation this program would not be a successful one. And tomorrow, there is a small announcement. Tomorrow's program will be starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Dr. Venkat Ravi will take up the session from GRA, and Gandhigram Rural Institute will take up the session. I must be thankful to you all. And before leaving the meeting, this floor, please submit your feedback links. Without submission of the feedback links, you won't get the tomorrow's link. So I request you all to fill the feedback links, which were
Ma'am.
already posted in the chat box, madam.
Madam, if you permit me, I just need to ask one participant a question, since my question is to Miss Chanda Asani.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, Chanda ma'am.
Chanda Asaniga?
Yes. I was muted, so I was
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
Please tell me.
Ma'am, I just have a doubt. Are you the one who is being honored with Nirja Bhanot Award?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so from the
great of
day,
you.
since Adinarayan sir is here today, so I just, sir, it's really a pleasure to have Chanda ma'am here with us.
Very good.
From the day one, when I saw her, I found something in her personality. So I just Googled her name.
Acha.
Acha, because sociologists, they observe the personalities too. So I really, something was there in her personality. I Googled her name and I told my scholar, the participant with us is being honored with Nirja Bhanot Award in 2008. So I'm so happy to see her with us here. And more than we youngsters, she's the one who is being interactive, being attentive. So,
I feel that I am honored with
exactly,
your presence,
we all
madam.
are honored.
She understood the teachers are learners.
Yeah, it's true, sir. We
Lifelong
must always
learners.
speak learners.
Really, I'm glad I didn't notice your name fully. Good.
Ravi,
You are pursuing your PhD program now, or?
No, I've just joined a master's in women and gender studies.
Oh, very good. You want to watch it?
Because I did masters.
Fine.
Madam,
Which
so
place you belong?
India.
No, that I know. Yeah.
I belong to India. I was teaching in Jaipur for 10 years.
Maharashtra, Rajasthan, huh?
My parents are Bengali.
Oh, very good. Fine. Good. Nice to see.
So, ma'am, as a faculty, you need any kind of help in women's studies, you can please, approach us, madam, sir, each one of us. We are always there. I mean, it would be honored to, be in contact with you and help you in your, studies and further information related to your perspective and research.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, Ma.
thank you, sir.
Nice,
Thank you
nice,
so
ma.
much, sir.
Okay, thank you
For
so much.
your nice presentation and speech.
Nothing. Yeah, this is a
Really,
routine
you
for
are a
me.
good teacher, and moreover, you have accepted my invitation immediately soon after I consulted you. I must be very much indebted to you too, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Uma. Right here, Madhava.
Okay, sir.
Tiwari,
Thank you, sir.
do well in your endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Thank all of
Signing
your
off.
blessings, sir.
I'm signing off. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I feel as if I am blessed, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.